Silverback Chronicles podcast. It's your boy Big H. I got my brother Dre.
Hey yo, okay, no, okay, life is good. We up.
Triple C.
Yo.
What's good, baby?
Maintaining, chilling, bro.
All day, every day. Folks, we got another phenomenal guest tonight. Another phenomenal episode tonight. I've been knowing this man, almost 10 plus years now. Since I got on the job. He's amazing. Phenomenal man. Even better brother. Dre, what else you got for him?
I mean, the NFL has their TB. The Baltimore City Department has their TB.
Absolutely.
We have I would say a legend, who's been around 28 years, has seen a lot, done a lot.
Boy.
And it's a true honor to have him here because this is what we do.
He's one of the real ones, one of the realest ones to ever come across. And always team first. Always take care of your people. Always,
sure.
Whatever you need, I got you.
I learned that the hard way, but we'll talk about that later.
Thanks. But folks, with no further ado,
the party.
Oh yeah, July 11th. Don't forget the Dame Street Tavern. Is it Dame Street Tavern?
Fells Point
Tavern on Dame Street, July 11th. Shout out to our brother Charlie Schultz, Berman Sober and Gross, Tell a Friend to Tell a Friend. July 11th. Be there, be square, from 3 to 7. Let's have some fun. All right,
let's do it. It's third annual.
But with no further ado, let's get into it. Our brother T's in the building. What's up, baby?
Appreciate you, sir.
No, I appreciate you, man.
It's an honor to be here.
Means everything.
You don't understand.
Hey, bring the mic to you. Yeah, we want this to be crystal clear.
Here we go.
There we go.
Get a little sweet.
Drop it down if you want.
Is that good right there?
Bring the arm down, whatever.
That's good. It's all good.
Yeah.
We'll make it work. Make sure you hit it. Let's do it.
We have a lot of knowledge right now sitting in front of us.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, how much time you got on?
28.
28 years.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Beemore?
Yep. East side.
East side all day.
Barkley Street.
Wow.
Yeah. Wouldn't change for nothing.
For nothing.
No.
What does Baltimore mean to you?
That's my home. That's my city. I'm going to defend it.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Just straight like that.
If you ain't from Baltimore, I ain't going to let you talk bad about it. I can take offense to it. Same thing for the job. If you ain't want the shoes, don't criticize until you learn something about it.
Yes,
and
sir.
I ain't talking about what you see on TV.
Right.
Talk to one of us. Talk to someone and get them to explain to you. If I give you the law, don't debate it because I don't do the law. I don't make the laws. We just enforce the laws.
Yes, sir.
So one of the things I got to say is that you have some people have a bad perception of police. Are there some bad police out there? Absolutely. But all of them bad? No.
Not at all.
No. I'm sitting next to two good ones right now. You understand what I'm saying? And so I take offense when they say all police are bad.
Right.
Because the job that we go out there and do and put our life on the line, they just say, you got to work for 8 hours and that's it. No. It's more than that.
Right.
Because when you are, them dudes that you locked up or that you was investigating, they don't give you with your family. The stuff that you got to do, the preparation you got to do, I put my family on point. If I say something, if I say a certain code, you got to go.
Exactly.
You don't know me.
Right.
That's so dope. Let's talk about that. Like, every family should have a, what you said, a code.
Yeah.
That when you read the room, it's getting a little hot.
Yeah.
You got to get out of there. Right. How important is that?
So, it's very important first. Especially the younger officers, I talk to them.
Because that's different because, like, if I'm a engineer or if I'm a banging on a computer, right?
Bring the mic up more.
Okay.
Talk directly in.
I got you.
Push it back. It's all good. It's a podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Like if I'm a computer engineer or if I'm a nurse, there's no one like really trying to kill me.
Facts.
But like our job, day off, day on. You know what I mean? They see you in a uniform. They see you with your family. That's an opportunity to get hit.
Yeah.
So how important is that code of like, and then they know.
So what I tell you is very important because, like I was alluding to, I'll always ask a new officer or someone say want to be police. One of the questions I asked them, I was like, "Been in police? How many hours a day are you a cop?" And they say 8, 10. Like, no, it's forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's forever, right? And you got to make that split-second decision sometimes, regardless if you're working or not.
Mm-hmm.
As far as meaning if you're getting paid or not, right? Because when you with your family, like I experienced it. I was inside the department store with my sister. And the dude had locked up. He saw me and he called me by name. So when he called me by name, I said something to my sister and she just started walking. Right? Because I'm not, okay, if something happened to my family or my friends on account of me, oh, that would kill me.
Right.
Right? Because I'm doing right.
Right.
You know, because some people are like, yo, let's keep it real. Some dudes, all they want to do is break the law. They like, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Go out there, you try to get people off from selling drugs. He was like, how much you make? Of course, I don't tell him. But he said, I guarantee what you make in a year, I do in a couple weeks.
Mm.
I'm not going to go out there and get no honest job. For what? Your job is to catch me going out there breaking the law. And so when you go into that field, right, it may be some kickback that you're going to get. Meaning that they're going to get some get back. Yo, you took my life away from my family, so I'm going to take yours from you.
Mm. Oh, you stopped me from getting money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they take that personally.
Yeah, bro.
You got to be prepared to get active and when it's time to get active.
Facts. I'll be honest. Anybody know me, know I say my service weapon, I say it's like American Express. I never leave home without. Period. Church, supermarket, gas station,
definitely not church.
Cutting the grass. Facts.
Yeah.
It was always with me because there's been times where you hear people get run up on. And sometimes you take what you experienced, what you saw from at work, and you bring it home. Like one of the get backs, Triple C know about this, where though one of the things they used to do in the city, they would go out there and make your car alarm go off, right? And when you go out there and check your car, they found you. No. I'm nosy too, right? So where I live at, right, it's kind of secluded. So if a car comes down there, I'm looking out the window like, who that? Do I know that car? Because I'm in a small area. So if it's a different car coming down there, it's going to raise a flag.
Mm-hmm. I
had an encounter before where, though, I don't know if it's a coincidence or whatever, but dude was by my house. Called my supervisor, let them know. I was like, look, the dude I was buying from, he out here. Shook me a little bit, but I kept it together.
Mm-hmm.
Let him know that I wasn't going nowhere. But if it's between me and him, bro, you got to go. I ain't going nowhere. I got a family.
Absolutely.
Got a family.
I think that's the mentality we need to bring back. Because I know, like, in the recent years, you know, we're so sensitive and we're so inclusive. No, fam, like, I'm home, minding my business. You show up, you could get whatever's coming your way.
Facts.
Because I didn't show up at your crib.
Right. You gotta protect your family.
1,000%.
Period. I make no apologies for it. And I stand on what I believe on. Right? You come to my house, you try to hurt me or my family. I'm going to protect me. I'm going to protect my family.
Well, you're not bringing over roast beef. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So before it's over and said and done with, I ain't ready to leave yet. I ain't trying to leave this earth. So if you coming after me, then we got problems.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't go looking for it, but I ain't gonna run from it either. Right. And taking this job, right, I've seen a lot of stuff, right? Done a lot. I like to say I done a lot. Majority of my career was in narcotics, right? And I remember one of my homeboys, childhood friend, matter of fact, cop too. He got more time on than me. He used to work in RAT, Regional Theft Task Force.
Great unit.
Facts.
One of the best.
Oh my gosh, carjackers and all that stuff.
Everything.
Oh my goodness.
I've always aspired to go there.
And
WTF.
I see why though. But he's in that. So I'm the young one in the group. So I'm going to drugs. So he finds out. So he calls me. And he was like, yo, be careful. I said, yo, you be careful.
Right.
And he was like, no. I said, yo, you locking people up too. He said, but what you doing is different. I was like, what you mean? What you talking about? Explain. So, and he always go into details when he talk. He don't just tell you something and don't elaborate on it. He gonna make sure you fully understand. Absolutely.
Right.
So he was like, people sell drugs to support that family.
Mm.
And you talking about taking that from them.
Mm.
Oh, they might come back at you on that.
Because they take it personal.
Yeah. So if you think, like, you provide for your family, right? I provide for mine, right? And someone come take that away. Yo, some people commit suicide when they don't have money no more.
That's a fact. Yeah.
So you got to think that mentality. And when we go after them, right, and in narcotics, I'm taking everything. I'm taking, if you got that, and back in the day when you got the plasma TVs, when TVs was like $3 and $4 grand, stuff like that, I'm taking all, I'm seizing all that. I'm taking your Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking everything. One time we took somebody's grill. I didn't even know it was an expensive grill, but they took the grill. Like, yo, we taking it all. If we can prove that you took it and you brought this up with drug proceeds, we was taking it. And some people, and then people threaten me. Yeah, they have a contract put on my life from what they said. Yeah, one dude told me to my face, say, yo, I'm going to have you killed. So I locked them up.
Mm.
I had to play tough. Was I scared? Hell yeah. They're going to tell you to your, yo, I'm a cop. Yo, you see this bag? You're like, yo, nigga, I'm going to kill you. I promise you, I swear on my mother's life, I'm going to have you killed.
Wow. Straight like that.
Yeah. So, went through the protocol, notified my supervisor and stuff. They took me down to homicide, had to tell them. And the whole process, I'm not going to put all that out there, what they had to do. But homicide had to do their piece. They put me from one sector to another sector. And I went over there and wreaked havoc over there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And mind you, when I'm talking about this, I was in patrol. I wasn't even in the narcotics yet.
Mm.
But when I came on, I was like, my brother was a cop, right? So I was like, I'm following his stats. My brother got me by 9 years, right? So I looked up to him. Keep it real. My dad ain't play a big part in my life. People, I'm not going to get up here and lie to you. He didn't. My mom, my sisters, my brother, my family, we tight-knit. So when I saw my brother go to Baltimore County, I was like, I'm going to be a cop. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people in my family are police. So I'm like, all right. So when I was younger, it was the wrong reason why I went. I was like, yo, they get to run red lights. They get to go to all the crime scenes and get to see everything, right? I'm nosy as a kid. I wouldn't know what's going on. So that's what it was. And then when I got older, I ain't like bullies, right? And when I saw my brother was doing it and he worked undercover, I was like, yo, I like that. I want to try that. But then I was like, nah, I said, I don't think I can handle it, right? Because born and raised in the city, I'm going to be locking up people I know. Don't want to do that. So my best friend, he on the job. Well, he retired now, but he's on the job. And he was like, I'll never forget, I was working at Alpaca Ford in the summertime. It was hot as shit.
Cars?
No, I was cleaning cars. Cleaning them. Detailing. And Sean called me and he was like, Doug, what you doing? Like, I'm working. He said, man, I told you to come on down here and be police with me. And I was like, man, I said, how much you make? So whatever it wasn't a lot, damn right. But I said, well, over time, I make that or I'm just a little bit short. He said, Doug, the difference is, he said, you sweating your ass off right now, and I'm sitting in this car chilling. I was like, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Right, I got to think about this shit, right? I was like, what?
That's so right.
Yeah, did it. And so I talked to my brother, and right, I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest out of four. So I was like, yo, I think I'm going to do it, right? And I was scared to tell my mom.
Budget.
I was petrified. I'll tell you this. I told my mom when they came down for me to get ready to take the polygraph. Back in the day, it would take like 9 months to get hired.
Right.
Right? So when I was about to do my polygraph, I told my mom. My mom was probably the only one that ever said, well, and I said, she prayed that I failed the polygraph because she didn't want me to be a cop.
Get out of here.
I lied to you not. And
Wow.
she told me, she said, I'm going to pray that hope God tell you, hope that you fail at that polygraph. And I passed. Right? She was mad. She was mad. She was like, why you can't go to be Baltimore County cop? I said, because my brother told me to go to the city. So I went to the city. Once again, that was like my big brother, right? 9 years now, because where we at, don't seem like a lot. But when you young, like when I was 9, he was 18. He a grown man.
Yeah, right? He's the truth.
Yeah, so when I'm in high school, he a cop.
Right.
So he went to traffic, he did drugs and stuff. So I was like, I want that. So when I got hired, I started in the Southern, right? And I seen the dudes down there pumped up, right? Nervous and shit. Like, now I don't know what to expect, right? Then I saw a couple of cats coming in. They got plain clothes on. They got that their police radio hanging from off their out their pocket and stuff like that. Yeah,
looking all
got their vest on. Yeah, right. Like 21 Jump Street and shit, right? I'm like, I want to do that, right? So I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do that. Gotta do your time though, right? So I'm in patrol, so I'm nosy. I asked a lot of questions, and I was like, what you gotta do to get up the steps and drug you? He was like, you gotta lock up drug dealers. What?
That's it?
Okay. So I'm from the hood.
So wait,
I know what to look for.
You grew up in the Southern and they put you in the Southern?
No, I grew up in the Eastern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the East Side.
East Side.
Yeah. So the crazy thing, when I was in the academy, I got mad because they sent me to the Southern. I said, it's not violent enough. I want to go to the East or West because that's where the violence was.
That's where the work was.
Right. I was like, I gotta go. And they and I'll never forget, captain of the academy at the time, I was so upset. Before I even went to my first day, I told him once we got our assignments, I was like, sir, I don't want to go there. I said, I asked to go here. You get your little wish list, right? He said, I tell you what. He said, go there, and I forgot how long he said. He might say a month. He said, give it a try for a month. If you don't like it, I'll do my best to get you moved. I went to the Southern, man, and had the best time of my life. And the thing about Southern, what makes it so different, make it unique, you get a little bit of everything.
The Southern is one of the best kept secrets of the city.
I mean, whatever you want to do.
It's a good district.
I loved it.
It's a good district.
Look, when I got promoted, I came back to the Southern.
Yeah.
I asked to go back to the Southern. Oh my gosh, yo. If you're looking to do drugs, it's there. If you're looking for car thefts, it's there. If you're looking for, I'm not saying you're looking for, but the child abuse, the domestics,
cop you want to be.
It's everywhere, right? It's like, it will make you a well-rounded officer.
Right.
Of course, I'm not saying I want the city to be bad all the way around, but if you'll be well-rounded, Southern is where you're going to get a little bit of everything. East Side, you're going to get shooting stabbings all day long and fights and stuff like that. But and domestic. But in the Southern, you getting everything. I suicide, the whole nine.
Yeah.
Right? As a rookie, the stuff that I seen, right? And then compared to, like I said, people I grew up with, and it's crazy. And no one planned this, right? Growing up, my core friends and family, we all went into law enforcement, right? So my cousin, he went to Baltimore County. I got one of my best friends went to Baltimore City Sheriff. I had numerous people that was Baltimore City Police with me before and after me, right? And then I got some that's in some other agencies. One was in housing, right? And we all rock. We put that work in.
So you connected at this point.
Yeah. So I guess I had a little insight of what policing was about because so many people in my family were police. My cousin, he passed away, right? Spunky. That's his nickname, right? Everybody know him. He was on the job. Great dude. Sat down and talked to him. I asked him questions. He was always available for me. And that's one of the things that I miss. The old police, right? From back in the day, if you need them, and I'm not saying they don't now, right? But everybody was there for you to make sure that you succeed. So I kept that with me. if you come work for me or you come work side by side with me or I see you, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I ain't going to let you fail. We're going to do it together. The newly promoted sergeants, wherever they are, if they come in and we working together, I got you. Race don't matter. Race don't matter. Because at the end of the day, we all, because if you fail, you may get me hurt.
Absolutely.
Right? And I remember when I got promoted, when I first came on, people helped me. And you got to think about that, right? We don't have it now. And I'll be the first to say, people always ask me, would you lock up a bad cop? Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
But let me tell you something, though. A bad cop is not going to do nothing in front of a good cop.
Right.
1,000%.
People don't understand that.
They don't.
Won't you go lock the bad cops up? Show me one and I will.
Right.
Right.
Right? They don't understand it. They think, no, they're not going to. They're going to only do that stuff with the people that's in their circle.
Absolutely.
Right? And everybody know we're talking about the biggest scandal that came out through our agency, right? Yo, they ain't do no shit in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they did.
Right.
But I'd have snitched their ass out. Fucking, they ain't telling us that.
That's not even snitching.
There it is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, look.
That's not even snitching, though.
I'm allergic to jail, so I can't go to jail.
Me neither.
Right?
Me neither.
That's not for me.
Right. I'll do the deposit, but I'm not the deposit. Okay? Period. I'm not staying.
I'm going to drop that motherfucker off. Yes,
You
sir.
know?
Right.
Look, so you won't go out there and you do that, you're going to get caught. You're going to jail. No, I like to eat. I like Roof Crest, right?
Yes, sir.
I like to go out. And we already talking about the vacation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to go.
Got to go.
Right?
You like that vacation.
And the vacation is a must. Took me a long time to figure out that, though. But I'm on it now.
Yeah.
I'm on it now.
No, but that's dope.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot to dig into.
Shout out to the Charlie Shift 09 over there in the Southern. Good. Silverback of ours.
Now, getting into that, what created your work ethic? Why'd you work so hard? And when did it take you? Because you come up, 28 years?
Mm-hmm.
What year did that come in? So it was like, what year did that come in when you was like, I gotta live life now? What was the awakening for that?
So
That's a good question.
you're right, it is.
Phenomenal question.
The work ethic came from my mother, right?
Good.
So
Touche. Mine too.
in
Same
any
here.
job I had, I always put 100%. She said, whatever you set yourself out to do, as a kid, right? I gotta tell you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the church I used to go to, the pastor's son used to drive the trash truck, right? And so, they stay on the back of the trash truck, right? So when people used to ask me what I wanted to do, I said, I want to be a trash truck person, right? And my mom was like, she didn't want to bust my dreams, but she was like, I don't want my baby driving no trash truck. But it was just like, it's just so cool because I'm like a big kid, right?
It is a cool job.
Right. But so my mom was like, whatever you do, you got to put your best at it, right? So I watch how my brother, he went out there and bust his tail. My older sister, watch how they go out there and bust their tail to survive, right? I watch my mom get up early in the morning, the sun not even out, and my mom don't drive, so she had a ride. So she leave when it's dark, right? And it's funny, watching her, how she worked, right? And she made a life decision. Her job, she used to work for Western Electric. And the plant was closing here. And they told her you had two options. You can relocate to Arizona, or we'll give you a servant package and then pay for you to go to school. My mom came home, asked me, and my sister just older than me, that's 2 years older than me. She said, do y'all want to move? We kids. We don't want to leave our friends. We want to stay here. And she said, okay. We stayed.
Instead of going to Arizona.
Yep. And so my mom took a pay cut, a huge pay cut. She went to school, and then she went to work for the state. Never complained. She made that sacrifice for us. So in turn, I got to pay that back. You sow seed in the good ground. When they harvest, you reap the benefits. Right? So she reaping the benefits right now.
Absolutely.
I don't like to talk about what I do for my mom or what I do for anyone. I always say that stay between us. But just know that she taken care of. People that's in my circle, they taken care of. right? So that work ethic came from her. So when I was out there washing cars, I tried my best. I'm very competitive too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody talk about how competitive Kobe is and Jordan is, right? I'm not as great as them in the aspect of them playing basketball, but talking about me working at my job, I'm gonna say I'm that, right? And we're talking about when I was doing the UC stuff, right? I pride myself on that. I studied that. I lived it, right? Because if you don't live it, you can fucking run and get killed.
You gotta live it.
Right.
You gotta live it.
I'm telling you. So I was in roles. I'll come back to that.
Mm-hmm.
But the work ethic came from her. So when I got on the job and I saw it, I got a little inkling how to start, right? So I just started going out, find out who my drug dealers were, right? And I was going at them left and right. I don't care if it was a half a pill or they had a pack on.
Yeah.
If you had drugs on you, you was going to jail. Period. So I got to the point where, though, I was locking them up, right?
Like, what year is this? Like, what year is it?
96.
Okay.
I got hired in 95.
Drugs is heavy.
Yeah, oh yeah. Real heavy, right? Like, each corner had their own drug shop.
Yeah.
In some places, right?
Drugs
I mean,
heavy.
and lines, right?
Heavy.
So, when I would go out there, I would lock up, I would do traffic. I love traffic. I was actually just talking to one of my guys today, and he was saying he was from the Western. You know what I'm talking about? He was like, he loved traffic, and I love traffic. And then, like I said, I always talk, and I ask a lot of questions. So I asked this, Sergeant, he had vice at the time. So I want to start asking him questions. And he was like, you should do traffic and look for drugs. I was like, sir, why you say that? He said, the drugs guy get in here, right? You think they always walking the drugs in? So if you find probable cause to stop or reasonable suspicion, right? You see a traffic infraction, and you know if you get to search the car, you find the drugs. So I was like, okay. So I took that to another level, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you work.
Interdiction, is it?
No, I didn't do
interdiction. That's a small level of interdiction.
Yes, it is. Yeah, because you're transporting it from one place to another.
Like you're stopping it way. Yeah.
As they bring it in. Correct.
Okay.
So y'all had your postcards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Postcards mean you got the same area every day.
Right.
So you learn the people on your post.
Fact.
So I knew everybody that was breaking the law on my post.
Right.
So from doing traffic and studying them, right? You knew who had licenses and you knew who didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You knew who license was suspended and who was revoked.
Right.
So if you see them behind a car, you already know at the back. You can go stop them because you know that they don't have no license.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When you lock somebody up and you take that car, what you got to do? You got to inventory it before you tow.
Absolutely.
Right?
And what's in it?
Hey, that's your charge.
Yeah.
If you write them a ticket, people don't like to go to court. You know that, right?
They never.
Especially for traffic court.
Right.
They don't like to go.
Nope.
So you give them tickets, right? You know them. You go to court in the morning. I work the 4-12 shift, right? Go to court in the morning, FTA. I can't wait till I see him because he going to jail.
Right.
He's going. I got up and came in. He ain't coming. Oh, he going to jail.
Right.
So as soon as I see him, if I know he's a runner, call one of my partners. We block him in. Right? Yep. Click. Oh man, ain't come to me. Yeah, it did. You ain't come.
I was there.
To jail.
Right.
Yeah. So there you go. So you go to jail. So that if you're proactive, right, you learn a lot and you do a lot. Well, I've done a lot. So I'll say, I used to have a saying, right? When I come around, I told him, I was like, how did I say it? I had a saying. I had a whole little saying. Basically, I was saying, the strip is closed. And I was like, anybody that's out, they violate, they go to jail. I said, this is my strip now. For the next 8 hours, this is my strip. No one can sell drugs out here for the next 8 hours.
You own
it. That was my strip.
Similar to the way we approach it. Like, yo,
yeah.
We're not doing that when we out here.
But you know what? The most gratifying thing out of it was, though?
What?
When you had a grandma come out there with no one else around. I was
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I could go to the grocery store now. I could go to the Family Dollar now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to worry about, you know, all these, you know, whatever in the way of the, you know, so I could get home.
Fact.
It's true.
Look, Barkley Street. That's where I grew up at, right? And my mom wanted to buy a house because we was renting at the time. And even though she was renting it, she treated it like she was buying it, right? So when we moved, she kept that same mentality. Once again, go to the foundation of how I became the way I am now, right? So the work thing, so I don't have no kids. I have nieces and nephews, right? I love them all, right? But my one nephew, I treat like my son, right? And because I was so dedicated to BPD in Baltimore City, I missed mad birthdays, graduations, celebrations, because I was like, I gotta go to work. I gotta get this drug deal. Because when I got the drugs, you couldn't tell me nothing. I took that personal.
It's satisfying.
It was.
It was.
But then my Southern District drug unit, man, second to none. Dudes took me under their wing. Like, I'm going to show you. One of them always like to use the word cat. That's my man. He took me, he showed me how to street rip. One showed me how to street rip. One showed me how to do investigation. One showed me how to do search warrants.
So, all right, bet. So you did your thing in patrol.
Mm-hmm.
You know, locking up guys, drug dealers in the cars.
Right.
So what was the difference when you went up to? Because now you're saying that like you went. Yeah. What was the difference when you went upstairs? And when we say upstairs, the flex, the whatever, whatever it's called now. What was the transition?
So the thing is, you think well, I'll speak for me. I thought I knew it all before I got up there. But in patrol, you ain't writing search warrants every day or every other day. So I'll put it this way. You play rec ball, and then there's league ball. You're good in rec ball, you that big fish in that small pond. But when you come out there with other people that's better than you or equal to you, you ain't that big fish in that little pond no more.
Now you're looking at the whole district.
Exactly. So you know everybody in your sector that you're doing. Now you're responsible for the whole district. And then you have to produce. Let's call it for what. There was no quotas, but if you ain't produce, you ain't staying in no specialized units. I don't care if it's traffic, if it's drugs, if it's a homicide. If you're not solving your homicides, you're not staying there. Y'all do know back in the day, we had one of the best, if not the best, homicide division in the country. You know that, right? They used to go out and train other agencies, other police agencies. That's how thorough they were, right? And it changed when we had got new command. They was like, no, everybody got to rotate out, right? I don't care where you were, you had to rotate out if you was there too, as they would say, it was too long. I can go with that if you say it was drugs. I can see if you say K9. But homicide?
Now we're investigating.
And you work that stuff. You work shootings and that stuff. Yo, that's a technique that I don't have.
It's a technique.
I don't.
It's a particular skill set, man.
That's look.
Every type of mechanic.
My thing is, and I'm not ashamed of, I can get you drugs all day long. But remember when we got a new commissioner and a new deputy, and they was going at the violence. And they was like, I'm a bad guy with guns. We talking about like in 2008.
Okay.
Right? He said, we want bad guys and guns off the street. That's what we want. Right? And that was the best times, right? But I'm like, my supervisor was like, you gotta go get me some guns. I'm not a gun guy.
Right.
I don't have that neck. I can get you drugs.
Isn't it how crazy that like guns and drugs are completely different?
How about that? But I'm telling you, I'm not gonna say I ain't never get no gun lockups, right?
You of course you did guns.
But I couldn't get like,
but you don't.
You had other ones that was like, and then you got them now, and you still got them in the department. They can get guns like they're a dog. They're sniffing. That dude got a gun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find my probable cause. I'm gonna go get him. That wasn't me. I remember telling the deputy major one day, I was like, sir, I can't get you no guns. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I know I can't. I can count on in my career. maybe 30 guns total that I was responsible for.
Seriously.
That's it. Now, if you want to talk about some coke and some dope, now I can tell you some wrecky shit. But some guns, that ain't me.
Nah, it's true.
I never had it.
It's true.
You had a commander that was at the time he was a major. He would go out there and get a gun. I ain't gonna say every day, but more than we was doing. To the point one time, I'll never forget this. Right, I'm a detective in downtown drug CID. Right, and crime was off the hook. And this is back in that era I was just telling you about. And so we was working 6 at night till 2 in the morning. And we all had to go into the hot spots. Y'all know what the hot spots was, where all the crime at, right? So we ain't get no guns. Deputy made to get a gun. He called the chief, the colonel, and told the colonel, like, yeah, I just got this gun. And he said, what everybody else get? He said, ain't nobody else got nothing yet. And all the squads are out, right? So colonel comes in, go up to 1400 North Avenue, courthouse parking lot. He said, make every detective get up there. He linked on our asses. Why my deputy major getting guns and y'all not? It wasn't from a lack of trying, but you had to have results, right? But I was a punk. I ain't saying nothing. But I was thinking, I was like, maybe because that mom is in a forerunner and we ain't talking these Chevys, right? I'm serious, right? I'm like, we ain't got no whips, but he, regardless of whatever car you put him in, that man can get a gun. Damn. He was that good.
There's a sergeant in the Southwest, shout out to him, Spanish dude, Puerto Rican dude.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? From New York. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Talks real crazy with the green eyes. Yo, he's a gun magnet. Smoothie. He's in homicide right now. Smoothie in the Northeast. Oh, he's every other day.
Yeah, guns.
Showed up with a gun.
Some people just got it, man.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't got it either.
Look, I wish I did.
Galia? G.
Yeah, yo.
Gun
really different.
and drugs.
Look.
He's different because he pulls up guns and drugs.
So talking about Keith G, right? So I do this training. I go to this training. I'm on staff, right?
What's the training?
Top Gun.
Top Gun is the best.
Yeah,
it's the best in the country.
He went. All right.
Thank you.
So
for that was amazing.
I told you love it, right? So,
it's a week.
This will lead up to what I'm trying to go to about the Top Gun. I'm already undercover, right? I'm deep undercover, if you want to call it that. Going out there doing what I'm doing, and I heard about this Top Gun training. I'm like, I ain't had no experience when I went undercover. I ain't went to no school. Life learned lessons, right?
You jumped into shit.
Yeah, both feet. So I'm like, I'm in it, right? So heard about this Top Gun thing, right? Mind you, I've been to UC for about 5-6 years already. I'm like, I'll go. I'm like, it's a week away from work.
Right. I
get to chill. I went to this training and had the best time of my life. I believed in it so much, right? I came back telling everybody. And I was like, I got to get on staff. I got to come back. I believe in it. Because they make it real as possible.
It's real.
Real as possible.
You're like,
real live scenarios.
Like you're fighting.
I don't want to talk about all what it's done because a lot of people still haven't gone through it yet. But when I tell you, it helps prepare you not just for narcotics, but investigations.
1,000%.
It teaches you. It is when I tell people, and I said something to this guy right here, my man, when he was working for me, he wasn't really feeling it till he got up there. Now he won't be on staff. So I'm trying to get him to come up with my staff. Okay, right? I know you trying. Look, I'm working on it. I want him to come. But that training that it gives you and the mindset and the political context you get is next to none. So
also from the law aspect as well.
This is true. Because you have attorneys up there telling you what you can do and what you can't do. But it goes back to Keith G. His supervisor, his lieutenant, recommended him to go. So I was like, all right. So I'm feeling myself a little bit. So I was like, look, he got to drop his application off to me so I could turn it in, right? Because this is not a Baltimore City thing, right? So I was like, bring me an application. So I'm waiting on the mezzanine and headquarters. Let's just say 4 o'clock. So meet me there at 4 o'clock. I'm waiting. It's like 4:10, 4:15. I'm like, where's this motherfucker at? Right? I'm like, yo,
right, I'm waiting.
I'm waiting. Hold on. I'm a supervisor, not waiting for you. Right? That's the type of shit I was doing back then, right? I'm like, hold on. So I called him. Oh, I had a late rock. I was like, yo, you couldn't call me?
Right.
Right? So I got an attitude. So he come back in there, right? When he came in, I don't know how long ago after that he came. So I'm mad at him, right? I'm like, I just took it, right? Just bop. He said I linked to him, right? But I don't remember what I said. But I knew I was mad, right?
God.
Yeah. But when he came through the school, I watched anybody from the city come in. I watch and see what they do, how they are. And I kept telling him, when he came through, I was like, I like this kid, right? And he ain't no kid, he's a grown man, but I'm just saying, he put that work in. So when I went back to downtown drugs and I met a sergeant. So I seen him. So this is when this cat working for me, right? So he wanted, you were still working for me at the time when we went up there. So I was like, I was like,
after the riots.
Yeah, I was like,
Right after the riots.
Work with my guys. It took me having this one conversation with him, right? And he was just telling me like all the stuff that he's doing, like how he investigated a case. And I was like, that's me. Just 10 to 15 years later.
Right.
He a little lighter too, right? He a pretty boy, right? So, but, I'm okay.
Jesus.
But the work ethic, when I saw it, I was like, fuck with this.
Right.
Like, he's good. Let me see what your end result is. Let me see. I don't go off of, I don't look at people lockups. I look at people convictions. There's a difference. You can do a lot to get people locked up, right? But if your case is solid, you got a conviction, right? Everybody look, such and such got this many lockups. What's that conviction rate?
Right.
That's what I pride myself on. What's your conviction rate?
Yeah.
If your conviction rate ain't good, you did the bare minimum just to get them locked up. No, get a solid case. I'm not saying I won all my cases. I had some hard breaks, right? But I pride myself on that, and I cried in the inside when I lost them, right? Because, this is life and death.
It's a lot of work.
Right. But going back to Keith G, when I saw it, I was like, all right. When the case was over, he came back and told me what he had. I was like, shit, I like this dude. I was like, yo, you ever think about being on staff at Top Gun? And he was like, I don't know, whatever. And I think when I first went to bring him, I'm trying to think that he had his son.
Sounds about right. No, yeah. He must have just had.
Yeah, so he couldn't. He couldn't come, but when he finally came, I can't get him to stop going there. He on staff, and I just watched him. So when everything happened with that big scandal, which he ain't had no part of, but he was just working down there, he was disgruntled, right? They put him back patrol. He felt like he got done greasy, right? And it's crazy, right? Because
everybody got put back to patrol.
Yes, everybody. The truth. I'm sorry, I should have said that. So I'm a supervisor now, so I take me being a supervisor like to the heart, right? So he was like, "Fuck this, I don't deserve this, that, and other. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go." I'm like, "Nah." He's like, I'm gonna go to work. I ain't gonna do nothing. I said, "That's not you." Yo, I said, "Continue to work, and you'll get taken care of." I said, "I'll go talk to some people." I ain't really had nobody, but I ain't gonna tell him that.
Absolutely.
But I wanted him to go out there and work because I knew what his potential was, right? So he went out there, he busted his ass, right? He made like Officer of the Month. Everybody took a notice to him.
Yeah. Then
when they started the overdose squad, right? Or homicide. Boom. He ended. And from there, he went to Hyder. And everything else is history.
And he's still putting kilos on the table.
Yeah, doing wiretaps. He did it. He doing it. Proud of him. And he's still loving it. He left the agency now. Yeah. Right? He made other moves. And he gonna laugh when he hear this, but he know I ain't agreed to it. Right? So what I said to him was, well, I think, but mine is different. Right? I'm being selfish. I'm gonna be honest. right? Because we're losing a lot of good people out the agency, a lot of experience,
phenomenal,
right?
people,
So when all this experience is gone, who can teach the rookies when they come in? If the blind leading the blind, ain't nobody gonna be solving no crime.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Can you get mad at that? When the department is and everybody's going somewhere else?
So could it be a better way to handle it to keep the retention? I'm sure it is.
Thank you.
Right? But when you go into that political game, that's above my pay grade.
Right.
So I stay with what I can control. Right?
I stay with what I know.
That's it.
That's it.
So and I told him, I was like, I said, I don't want you to leave. You leaving a lot of years on the table to start over. So he was like, well, they may take my time, this, that, and that. I was like, you need to know. Right? So I hit him with this. Pray about it, talk to God. He said, I already did. He told me to go. I said, well, I ain't got nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I look, when my best friend, when he went to retire, he was great lead. And I was like, once again, being selfish. Right? He was the captain at the academy. You know him.
Yeah.
So,
and I was like, I don't want you to go.
So what would you say to the people that are on the job right now to stay as far as morale and not go anywhere else?
That's a loaded question.
Like, no, but what I'm saying, you wanted G to stay.
So,
there's plenty of G's out there right now that haven't been developed.
Very true. So, I was saying, hang in there. Trouble don't last always, right? I weathered the storms. They had some bad supervisors? Absolutely. They had some that I went to fight before. You want me to be honest? Absolutely.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Don't call me no lie, I'm telling you the truth. Don't do that. I'm a grown man. Now, I will be fair on this. If I did something was wrong and you discipline me and you cuss me out, I'm going to take it. Because you're trying to make sure I stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. I gotta say this. Shout out to my old lieutenant. He's since retired. I was working undercover, but we had an informant, and we was doing the job up in Pigtown. And the informant was going to do the buy because the lieutenant said I couldn't do it. Right? Had a white lieutenant. Treated me like I was his son.
Is there a reason why you couldn't do it?
Just for this particular case, he ain't with me because it was a violent group.
Okay.
Right? He did not. When I say he treated me like his son, he like, I'm not calling your mother saying something happened to you.
Okay.
So every now and then, he would say no.
No, you're not doing it.
Right. No, you're not doing it. So I begged him. I said, let me ghost him. Right? That's because I took this UC stuff serious. Right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me ghost him. Meaning that let me file this CI. So he said, only if you got a listening device. I'm not going to say what it is, but y'all know what it is. Mm-hmm. Right? So I was like, all right, I got it. Right? I didn't have it. So I called another detective that was still downtown. I was like, yo, can you grab that listening device for me? And he was like, all right, I'm going to get it. Right? So when we up on the parking lot, and we all there, the lieutenant, sergeant, everybody there get ready to do the operation. And the detective said to me, and I'm a detective at the time too. So the detective said to me, he said, T, I forgot to bring the listening device. And he said right there in front of LT. And LT looked at me.
And ripped you a new one.
He said, mind you, we're a big open parking lot, right? So we all right here. And he said, come on down here. We went about 50 feet down. I said it was an open parking lot, right? And he commenced on cussing me out. And I was mad, right? My feelings hurt. I'll go back to, he scrapped the whole thing. Nobody did shit. No. He was that mad. I went back to the office. I got my 95 off. I'm starting to write. Set it down. Started to write. I was like, first, how the fuck can I explain I lied to my boss?
Right.
Right? And then I started thinking, I was like, he looking out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people got to protect you from your own self.
Yeah. That was his sign. Oh, yes. We're not doing this shit no more.
No.
We're not going to do nothing now.
When I say he cut the whole operation, all that planning.
Yeah.
People have to protect themselves.
Tell me. He scrapped the whole thing. I don't know if people really know how much it goes into putting an operation together to do a buy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, The hours, the manpower, everything, just for a 2 to 3 minute transaction.
Yep.
It is 2 or 3 minutes.
Tops.
Less than
that.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show how embedded he was in y'all lives.
Absolutely.
Like, we go through all this, and there was that one last thing. The detective knew everybody was on board with him. I'm going to bring the listening device for you. As soon as he said that, LT looked at you and said, get the fuck over here.
The detective only sees that one.
But he didn't know. He didn't know I lied to the lieutenant.
No, he didn't. That's why we all on board. Yo, bro, I forgot to bring this shit.
That was it. And so when he said it, and I just had that dumb look on my face, like, you know, I got caught my hand in a candy jar.
And he beaming you.
He ripped me. he ripped me so bad.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I was trying to write the report. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
That's dope that you checked the ego.
Yeah, you had to. Because at the end of the day, so I'm on the DEA side, right? And I'm the UC. So I had some friends, some childhood friends, that said they don't like white people. They don't trust them, right? And I take offense to it. Because some of them same white people you talking about saved my life.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
So don't talk that shit to me.
Right.
That's my family there. We may not be blood, but that's my family.
All day.
Y'all my family, but we not blood. But I die for y'all.
Vice versa. And I die for you too.
I already know that.
Why?
So when they do that, I'm like, no. So that lieutenant, right? I'm going to tell you how much this dude had my back. We had a case that we had to trip. We followed a drug dealer down to Atlanta, right? To Atlanta. So we all flew down there. We driving, followed them down there. We wound up getting like $850K, right? Gwinnett County, I still don't like them because they just did a car stop for us, right? We saw them blowing it in there, right? You just say this big suitcase, and the dude had to go like this to get in the back of the expedition, right? So LT got on the radio. We talked on the radio, and he was like, "You think it's cool, or you think it's money?" Right? My tail said, "I think it's cool." He asked everybody for their opinion, and so then asked the case agents like, "What you want to do?" Right? So then he made the decision. Said, "Let's get it stopped." So called Gwinnett County stopped. So Gwinnett County, they thieves, bro. They try to take the money. He said, "Well, we did the car stop, so it's our money." Oh no. No. Lieutenant stopped me. I was like, "I'll go in there and get our money." I was like, "Let me go in there." Because we were still in Atlanta. Right? I was like, "No." They just did a car stop and that was it. Right? And then that's the crazy thing. The dude that got caught with the money said, "That ain't my money." Mind you, we saw him put it in there. He said, "That ain't my money." He said, "Would you sign and say that's not your money?" That dude signed there like that. I said, "Oh, somebody family would be fucked tonight." $850K? It may not be exactly 850, but I know it was over 800K.
Easily.
It was less than $1 million, but it was over 800K. Oof. And he signed that form saying that wasn't his money.
Ooh, baby.
Right? So
what money is it?
Oh, it was his money.
It was his money.
We watched him put the suitcase in there. But he know that he was going to get jammed up.
Yeah. He washed his hands with it.
There you go. So, mind you,
got lost.
A huge loss.
Absolutely.
So, mind you, we drove down there, right? So, we had Maryland plates, right? So, coming back up, a couple other people had left, and we stayed down there to make sure everything was tight. So, it was one car, two detectives in that car. I was by myself. Then you had the lieutenant and the GS from DA in another car. So I'm like, all right, so
in a GS?
Group supervisor for DEA. So the bosses around the
Lexus GS.
Yeah, yeah. That's tight, dog. Some of them got that. I ain't never had that one though. But the bosses riding together, the two detectives riding together, I'm by myself. I get to listen to what I want to listen to, right? So we made our pit stop, right? So I'm religious, right? So I was fasting at the time. I'll never forget this. So we're in North Carolina, and I'm following behind the two detectives. the boss is way back behind us, right? Because they ain't trying to do what we doing. We trying to hurry and get back. Like, we was out of town for like a week and a half. Like, I'm trying to get home, right?
It's time to go.
Exactly, right? And we driving from Atlanta, so that's a long ride. So, like, if we speed, we can get back. So, state trooper, so LT got on the radio, was like, there's a trooper coming up on the rear end fast. I don't know if they coming for y'all, but you better slow down, just in case. So I slow down. The other two detectives slow down. Trooper, we in the middle lane. The trooper go like this. This is me, and the other detective's here. He went like this, looked over at me, right? Came back, slowed down, got behind me, pulls me over, right? Boom. I'm like, all right, I got credits from the feds because I'm deputized, right? So I'm like, look, we work the case, yada, this is my credits. So he like, Opie, right? He like, I'm like, look. So I talked my way out of it. I was like, look, so we going to finish with my surveillance level, right? So he said, okay, I guess so. Thank you. So the detectives that had pulled over and waited for me, they gone, I'm gone, and the boss is just caught up with me, right? So the second one, so we passed the lieutenant, right? So I know, wasn't even 10 minutes. I swear to goodness, wasn't even 10 minutes. Another trooper come up, right? And I'm not even speaking at this point, right? But I got Merlin tags, and I'm black. Homeboy went like this, got beside me. Clearly he wasn't coming for me because he had to slow down as soon as he saw me. Right. That joker didn't get behind me and turn his lights on. That joker turned his lights on right there beside me and was like, pull over. So the other detective was like, yo, I seen you get back to B-more, I ain't stopping. Right? I was like, what the fuck, right? They kept going. They kept it moving, right?
So much for team, huh?
Right. There's no team with them. Team, I'll catch you when you get back.
Right.
All right? So I get pulled over. Lieutenant Foundsy pulls up. No, let me stop. So he gets behind me. I pull over. So he got me stopped. So a couple minutes later, Lieutenant pulls over his shoulder, but they up some, right? So when the trooper come up to the car, first thing came out of his mouth was like, boy, what you doing speeding in my account?
Speed? Where you get boy from?
The boy done got me.
Hell yeah.
That's what got me.
What the fuck you talking
I'm like, boy? Like, I'm a motherfucking cop.
Right.
Who you talking to, right? So I show my credits, go do this whole same thing. Tell me found someone. He said, I don't care. If you want someone stopped, you call us and we do it. I said, no, sir. The whole object of it is not letting them know we found them, but we don't want them to get away.
Right.
So he giving me the boot. You see the police radio sitting right there in the
everything. You just want to be an asshole.
That's an understatement. My lieutenant gets on the radio. It was like, Troy, do I need to come back here? Uh-huh.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yep. He gets out. Mind you, my lieutenant like 6'3", 3-ish. And the trooper was like 5'9". I know he was shorter than me though, right? Like 5'8", 5'9", right? So lieutenant go in his pocket, pull out his credits, go like this, and you can see the trooper like this. And I was like, oh, this not good. But I'm heated because he called me boy, right? And he got my license. And so at the end, Gray let me go. He comes back from talking to my lieutenant and said, boy, get out here and flick my license in the car. If I wasn't fasting, and this is how I know God has my back. If I wasn't fasting, man, anybody that know me would tell you, this ain't no lie. We the fourth. But because I was fasting, so for people who don't know what fasting is when you turn down something that you love to do. And mine, I turned down my plate. I didn't eat. So I prayed every hour 1 hour. So I was fasting from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Right? And I'll tell you, I was studying for the sergeant's test. Right? So I did that. So I was reading my Bible and all that good stuff. Right? So I was like, I can't let the devil win. Right? But boy, I was convicted off my thoughts though. Right. Because the stuff that was going through my head, it didn't come out my mouth. And anybody knows, like, it normally comes out Troy's mouth. So I jumped. when my lieutenant them pulled off, I jumped so far, so close to that ass that nobody could be walking, could get through. So he was like, Troy, get off my tail. I was like, nope. He said, Troy, you gonna get pulled over again. I said, they pulled me over again. They can have this all tomorrow. I'm getting in your car. I said, I'm getting there with y'all two white people. They ain't messing with me no more. I called my boy that's from North Carolina. I told him what happened. He said, you was at High Point, wasn't you? I said, I was. Mind you, he living up in Baltimore. But he was from down there. As soon as I told him what happened, he called it out right where I was at. He didn't know exact way, but he knew what county I was in. I was like,
North Carolina.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to say I was traumatized, but I was so scared to go there. When we had enough cases going down there, I wouldn't drive. I would sit in the passenger seat. I wouldn't do it. But the whole point of all that was, that lieutenant then had to come down there and talk to that guy.
No.
And he did. And he took an ass chewing for something that I didn't even do. So he saw the bigger picture. And what he said was, did you get a ticket? And I was like, no, sir. There you go. Everything else can be forgot. But it was a great story to tell. It proved to me who he was to me. Something else I learned from him that I use to this day. There's a good guy and a bad guy, right? So when I was a UC, he felt like everybody was using me because I was black. And he said, I don't want them using you. And I was so happy to do it all the time. I said, let them use me, right? Joking, but serious at the same time because I wanted to do all the drug work, right? I knew what I was doing, and I loved it. Some of the cases, he was like, nope, you ain't doing it. I had agents from other states asking me to come and do that case for them, right? So one was in Delaware, right? And he was a rat at the time. He was like, I want Troy to come and do this. And then I went up with two other agents and he gave me a layout and showing me the area and what he want me to do. Everything was set. I was like, okay, got back. When we were supposed to go up and go do the case, the lieutenant was like, yeah, I'll call the rat and say you can't do it. I was hurt. I wanted to travel. I wanted to do it. He said, nope, I don't want nobody using me. And he said, oh, what I learned from him was, he said, I turned it down. And before I did every deal, he always came and he said, you sure you want to do it? He said, I can call it off. And I said, I called it off. If you don't want me, if you don't want to do it, I'll take the heat and say that I called it off. But no, I'm good, sir. I got it. But that goes back to again saying he knew what was better for me, right? Because if say I went up there and did that case and I got killed, right? We don't know. Have I did some UC work where those dudes had some guns and one was trying to set me up to kill me?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to think. When you get, so I could never go out there and buy street shit. I couldn't go out there and say, yo, let me get a dime. Let me go get a pack. Well, I probably could do a pack, but I couldn't go out there and say, let me get a nickel, let me get a dime, let me get a jumbo. You know, like, and so, yeah. So, real talk, right? So, my first at the height, I went to the FBI side, right? So, some things didn't work out. So, as I did the case down there, had fun too. Met a mentor who I call my brother. He's since retired from the FBI. But to this day, I can call him today. And he would still be there for me. Right now, I can call him right now. He will answer and give me whatever I need. He retired as a supervisor too, right? But when I left there, I went back downtown to downtown drugs, CID drugs, right? And my supervisor said, Troy, we got to go buy some coke. No, wasn't coke, but some heroin. So, you know, we call it dope, right? He said, we got to go buy some dope. I said, how much you talking about? He said, we'll probably go get a couple nickels. I was like, who's going to go buy that? He said, you. I said, I don't look like no junkie. And I pointed to this other dude, like a hillbilly, right? I was like, but he can buy it. He was scared. So he didn't want to do it. So I was like, they're not going to sell it me. He said, yes, they will. I was like, sir, them dudes at East Baltimore on Our Street is not going to sell it me.
Right.
Yes, they are. All right, give me money. So I tried to Man, I always keep a little haircut, so I try to mess my hair up a little bit, have my clothes all like try to wrinkle it all up, try to look like a little bit. I walked down there and tried to cop. I ain't gonna say what I said to him, but yeah, dude was like, "Yo, I don't know what you talking about, y'all. Yo, get out here with that, man. I don't know who you are. Go ahead, man." Wouldn't sell to me. As I'm walking up the street, Junkie walking down the street, said, "You're going to hold." And I went back to my sergeant. I was like, "I told you they wouldn't sell to me. If you talk about some weight or some packs or something like that, I can get that. I can go buy some weed. I can go buy some nickel bags of weeds and stuff like that. But I can't buy no coke or no dope.
No.
I don't look like no junkie.
No, you don't look like
I'm too clean cut." But he ain't want to listen. I was like, all right. So I went and tried it. So I can say I tried it, right? And it was funny, right? But I was like, and me, personally, every case I ever did, I always had my gun. Never did without my gun. Like y'all to death. If y'all on the outside waiting to come in, that's a lot of time to be with fighting or trying to get away from some bullets and not giving none back.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got some UCs that like they don't carry a gun. God bless you. But I can tell you right now, every last one I did, I had a gun.
Did you get creative? Like, were you hitting?
Oh hell yeah! Yes.
I mean,
yeah. So
talk about it.
This one thing I'll tell you, right? So, one of the things I did was right, me taking this serious, right? Only cops wear holsters. I did play that role. I told you I had no training before I became a UC. So I got proficient enough where though I can get coke and I can get weed, no problem. It's a different ball game when it comes to heroin, right? So I knew I had to go. I was being introduced to this guy to go buy some heroin, and it was some weight. So I was like, I don't know enough about this, right? So once you cut it, you only got a certain time before it go bad. Coke ain't gonna go bad, but when you step on that heroin, it goes bad, right? So you gotta have a clientele. You gotta have chemists that know what they're doing for one, right? And then after it's ready to go, you got a certain time before it starts losing its potency, right? So you better have your shit together. So it's not like you say you sitting on coke. So if you sit there saying, let's just say, so without giving out too much. All right, you make a large purchase, right? They may want to interview you. Like, yo, where you got your shit at, yo? Right?
Right.
So, but I don't know none of this, right? So what I did was, right, one of the guys that was in drugs before I was, right, mentored me. One was a deputy of the job, right? One is retired sergeant, and one's still a lieutenant on job. But the guy that was a sergeant was a detective at the time that I looked up to, right? So I was like, hey, I got to meet up with you. I was like, I got to go buy this. And I was like, I don't know enough about heroin to go out there and buy this, and I don't want to fuck up. I met him at Golden Ring Mall around 7 o'clock on a Sunday. The buy was on that Monday. I asked him every question that I could think of. And then he gave me a whole bunch of other stuff that I didn't even think to ask. And I swear to goodness, I went home and studied it like I'm studying for a test, right? So I'm nervous because I'm not used to buying heroin, right? So I was like, I don't know if they'll ask me this, that, and that. So I got my cover story together and everything. And sure enough, the things we went over was the questions that the dude asked me.
Verbatim.
Man,
Crazy.
Look, once the deal was over, called the detective and was like, yo, he said, how was it? I was like, the stuff that you gave me was on. But so when I was in field training, he was already a detective, right? So when I got finished field training, he went to downtown drugs. So he already got the experience, right? I didn't know this. No one sent me to an undercover school. I ain't had no training. I only had the experience from growing up in Baltimore, right? And then when I went to the drug unit, God bless a couple guys that was up in the Southern District Drug Unit. When I was up there, that put me on point with a lot of stuff. All that stuff came into play. Watching and learning, asking a lot of questions. Played that part. To tie it all in, to bring it back to you, what can you do to them young cats? If anybody out there listen to you right now, come see me. I'll give you whatever I have, and what I don't know, I know somebody that do know.
Right.
I introduced you to G, right? Didn't I introduce you to G? Oh no, you went to a squad.
No, I really doing.
You went to a squad. Y'all was in a squad together, and y'all did some heavy stuff.
We did
some heavy stuff.
Did some things.
But
was this with y'all too, right?
Yeah, he was there. Yo, shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to
Yo, it's I'm gonna tell you, I'll put Baltimore City up against any agency.
1,000%. I'll say that right now. And, and shout out to every agency, but
no, it's love, but
it's love. But if we're talking about competition,
look, we competitive.
What's up? We could do it.
Look,
like
I'll tell you right now,
handcuffing, even simple things like handcuffing. We can have a handcuffing tournament.
Nah, I got what.
We'll beat y'all.
Look, so
but it's all love.
Look, in drugs, your investigation could take you to different agencies, right? So I'm not gonna say this agency name, but I had a couple ones. Some was in the city and some was in another part of the county, right? I ain't gonna say what county, right? So it was a no knock. So SWAT had to hit it, right? I already see what our SWAT do, right? I'll put our SWAT up against anybody. They say MSP is the best. I don't care. And I know something about it. I'm telling you.
When everybody on SWAT, they're the best.
Facts, no doubt, because they save us.
1,000, like easy.
When I saw this agency SWAT at the St. Now agency, I was like, yo, they a joke, yo.
Yeah.
All they got is more money than us.
That's it.
But
that's really what it comes down to. Like,
I'm telling you right now, I watch our guys when they go hit, how methodical they are in their movement, right? And I don't even know if y'all know that the one had that long standoff in the city of East Baltimore. This shucks. This was probably because the major then that had to be like, I wasn't even a supervisor yet, so it was before 10. So it was probably like maybe 6 or whatever. And like God, I watched some of our SWAT guys run dudes down in full gear. Like I can't run like that without the gear on.
It's moving.
Yeah, I commend them. So any SWAT, I love them to death.
Absolutely.
Right? Because that's what we call when we need help.
That's a fact.
Right? So I don't care where agency you come from. If I need that help, come get me.
Yeah.
Right? Because I ain't got no assault rifle with me or whatever they carry, the machine guns, whatever. they got the tools. They got all the extra. It's time for them. But look, I got to say.
Shout out to Sergeant V over there in SWAT.
Look.
And Romy.
Hey, look.
Rambo Romy.
Look, then you can't leave my man out. Yeah, you can't leave W out. WH.
No, there's a lot of
WH Sergeant out there been there for a long time.
Oh, classic!
I'm telling you,
that's Debo right there. Son.
He dropped jewels to me to this day.
I love seeing him.
Look, so let me tell you what I did.
Seeing like there's certain units. I love to see like
play a whole.
There's certain units. I would say, yo, real deal.
Facts. Big facts on that. Word.
When I come to work and I see RAT and I see WATF and I see SWAT, you know, and then I see homicide, because homicide's on the sophisticated level.
Right.
It makes me so fucking proud of this agency, because you know why? Because I know no other agency could beat those units.
Let me tell you. So.
And I realized that real quick when I went to Top Gun, and I'm up against other agencies, and I'm running the plans, and I'm a regular detective. And they're like, yo, you gonna run this thing, the exercises. Yeah. And they're like, yo, this guy, I'm from here, I do this, I do that. And I'm like, fam, I'm a regular Baltimore City detective. And I learned this from these, different units. You can't fuck with me.
Facts.
But all love to every agency. But when it comes to like, if we go at it, come on, stop it.
So I always meet anybody that's from Baltimore City that's gonna go to this training, right? I meet with them first before we even go, and he'll tell you. I was like, I take this shit serious, right? And I said, if you misrepresent this agency on any level, I'm sending your ass back. Am I lying?
You know, like,
Said you gotta go.
real quick, who's the only female supervisor that you know? The only female supervisor.
Moody.
She's an instructor over there.
Word?
Yeah, bro.
And that tells you right there.
That's
Yeah.
love.
That's my
And that's
girl.
what tells you right there, like, she's a, come on.
Look.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, so so she. Well, I'll come back to her in a minute, but I take my agency and the pride of my agency very serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna talk bad about my agency, and it's funny, right?
You ain't gonna do that.
I never knew how people really pay attention. That's non-police. So I had a birthday party a couple years ago, and my brother on my dad's side, he got me spoke. And he was talking about how passionate I was about my job and the city. And he was like, you bet not talk bad about neither one. If you so, you better be ready to fight. And it's crazy because that's how I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm protected about my family. It's my family, right? And I see different quotes. And when you see those different quotes, it hit home sometimes, right? Because people look at the end result, but they don't look at the path you took to get to the end result.
Right.
And they want to make that judgment.
1,000%.
Look, if you didn't read my book, you didn't walk my footsteps, don't judge me.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know the whole story, don't judge me. Right? And they don't understand that. It's not being cocky. I'm not saying I'm doing anything out the ordinary, but if you don't know, if you didn't see it, right? People don't know the amount of shit we got to go through being police, right?
Yep.
Me being police saved my life.
Same.
You want to keep it 100? Because there are some people in my family, they don't know I know this, but they was talking about me behind my back and said that I was going to be dead at an early age, just off my temper, right? As a cop, yo, you can't have that temper, right?
Right.
I still had a temper, but it was more controlled than what it was if I wasn't, right? They keep it 100. My mom wouldn't ride with me in the car. She said my temper was too bad. So she wouldn't ride with me. She ride with me now, right? But she wouldn't ride with me at first. So everything happened for a reason. And I, once again, because I'm religious and I don't push it on no one. It's either you do or you don't, right? And if you don't want to, I'm not going to push it on you, but I ain't going to stop talking about who saved me.
Absolutely.
Right? So when I see that he brought me through certain situations, and there's a couple incidents on the job, not just in drugs, but in my life, where God saved me. Have I ever been shared that? Yeah. I can remember one time in patrol, in my rookie year, up in Sector 3, we all just standing on the corner. Police in uniform. We was on the midnight shift. Because when I came out, Southern District was the only one still did all 3 shifts. Right? So we were on the midnight shift. And I remember being with one guy that's in SWAT now, and one of the other guys, he since retired. And we stand on the corner, we just talking. And they just go, bow, bow. I'm like, what's that? They shooting at us, right? So I'm thinking it's coming from up this way, right? So my dumb tail go running towards it. And so the 2 senior guys like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to get this guy who shot us. He lost his mind. Right? And then you go back and you think about it, and it was like, boy, you was dumb as shit. Because if you're running towards it, not trying, no tactical move, I'm just running the straight line towards where it said gunfire's coming from. Right? No, nothing. Straight up the street.
Trying to eat every bullet.
What? I sure would have. I was like, I'm going to get this guy. Yeah. And I think about it now, I was like, God had angels over me.
Absolutely.
Because it only take one. It only take one. And one thing I say got killed. Because it made me. Made me a paraplegic. Right? Yeah. My mind, my sanity, I'm like, look, I'm out here.
You would have been a different person.
Yeah. But I tell you, when you think about older now, you know, you become a little more wiser, right? And when you reflect, I was telling a friend of mine just Sunday, and I listen to gospel a lot, right? Not all the time, but I do listen to a lot. And I go through my first way, though. That's what keep me calm, right? And I'm listening to Kirk Franklin now. I think it's All in Me right now. And I heard it. I was actually on social media, and I heard it, and I was like, oh, wow, it's All Things. That's what it's called. It's called All Things. Listen to it. And when you listen to the words, and when you go through certain trials and tribulations, right, and you know nothing about God that brought you through it, it hits different. It hits me different, where the chills go through my body, and they make me appreciate life just that much more, right? Because I know there's countless times where I could have lost my life on things that I know about and things I didn't know about. Because sometimes God stopped things from happening before you even see it, right? And people don't understand. I look back at my career, and I always think about when I retire, like what I would say. And I was like, I can't even remember how many times something happened where I almost died. I remember I was going code one to a call, going down Pratt. I don't know, whatever the car required me to go code one. And a car came out the side street. And when you're going at high rate speed, I ain't know this, I know now. I know you used to be on ENT, so I'm sure you did EVOC. When I hit that steering wheel and I lost control and that thing was going like this,
fishtailing like a motherfucker.
My light flashed in front of me. I thought I was going to die. For whatever reason, I just said, God went like this. And the car just started going straight again. I'm surprised I ain't wet my pants, man. And I ain't talking about from no piss either. Because my life was like this. Boom. And then you just had other things that's not even work related, right? And you just sit there and say, how did I make it through that? A bad breakup, right? A bad supervisor. Like I said, I had a bad supervisor. He was so bad. I was hating life, right? So, and this is crazy. Check this out, right? And I'm not going to say yeah because people are trying to figure it out. But I had this bad supervisor. Was hard as shit. And I ain't had no outlet, right? And this is my testimony right here. And then my personal life, I was going through a bad breakup, right? And I had no outlet. At work, I was miserable. At home, I was miserable, right? And I was like, how am I going to make it through this? And so, I told this story. And I was like, I can envision God just standing like this. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to wait till you come to me. So I would go to my brother. I would tell my brother something. I wouldn't tell him everything, but I would tell him something. He'd give me his words of advice. Then I would go to my best friend, and I would tell him a different piece, right? Or something else that was going on. And God was just like this. And I was still in this rut. I mean, like, it was bad. And then, shout out to my bishop, Bishop Stokes. Great teacher, phenomenal preacher, right? My mom, love her to death, gave me the words of wisdom, right? I started staying away from my mom because my mom could read me and knew something was going on. My mom worried too much, so I didn't want to know. So I would stay away. I would just stay home, miserable. And I prayed and I asked God specifically some things. I was very direct in what I was asking, right? You know, sometimes we do a lot of things in broad forms. At this point, I was at that breaking point, so I had to be specific because I needed help. Because everywhere I turned, it was chaos, right? And God was like, okay. And I didn't know he said okay, but he did something. He gave me a sign the first time, and I didn't recognize that he gave me a sign. And then the second or the third time, yeah, I think it was the second. I think it was the third time when I realized it was him. And then my life just started changing for the better because I started trusting him. See, what a lot of people do, a lot of church, and I'm not going to say they fake churchgoers or fake believing in church. What I say is, we Indian givers. God, I'm going to give it to you, and then you take it back. God said, give it to me and leave it with me. Let me do me. Let me handle it. He'll fight your battles. Let me tell you, this one bad supervisor I had, he was so bad. My mom gave me a scripture, the 70th book of Psalms. She said, you call his name out in it. And I did. Right? And when God got done with him, I was praying for him, hoping that he would get better out of his situation. Right? So if that's a fluke, I had another bad supervisor some years later. I ain't had to ask my mom because I remember where to go. Did the same thing. He thought he was getting something was going to happen, whatever. Didn't get what he thought he was going to get. And I got to the point, I told my mom, I said, I ain't calling nobody else's name out there. I was like, nope. I was like, because my heart was heavy. It got them off of me. And God said, you don't mess with mine. Right? God said, I'll fight your battles. And he did. But he gave me that heart. So before I got the heart that I have now, my heart was cold. When my dad died, I had 2 tears that came out my eyes. I had to talk to God, and I was like, am I human? But you can get programmed so much into work and see so much traumatic stuff that goes on that you forget about being human.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? And it takes a special person to deal with a cop. I don't care if you're a man or a woman.
Yeah.
Right? Some people are like, I ain't gonna deal with you because I'm scared to get that knock on the door.
Right.
Right? It hurts. But when God got done with it, I was like, no, I'll pray, but I won't call nobody else's name. If I call your name out in there, yo, I'm ready to fight you. So I have to do that so I can have my sanity. And God will fight your battle. Remember that. Because working in Baltimore City, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't go work for the county, even though they make way more money than us, boy. I think about that.
Do they really?
Right? Yes.
They don't get no overtime.
First, you don't need no overtime. But they get overtime, depending on what unit you in. Especially the narcotics unit, the homicide unit and stuff. They got money out there. Well, they get it. Patrol don't get it like that.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's the only spot they don't see it like that.
Yeah.
Patrol.
But think about this. It's about, without exaggeration, it's probably on a minimum side, as lowballing, a $20,000 pay difference. I know when I talked to another sergeant.
Meanwhile, we do all the work.
Well, I'm going to tell you starting to get their problems too now. A lot of people from the cities going to the county doing that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But they get that mad time when they get caught too, though.
Yeah.
But they got to do some work.
Which makes it worth it. You
Right.
get that time, you get that work in. Yeah, it makes it worth seeing like somebody go to gym for that long.
But it's funny but watch this though. A lot of agencies hate on us.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Why?
Because they don't get the experience that we had.
No.
You know, and like I told you before you went to top down when we had a meeting, I said, you may think, and I said it to everybody, so you may think you don't have a lot of time, a lot of experience on, but some of these other agencies, you're a superstar in them.
Yeah.
Right? I said, you're a superstar.
They hate on that.
And yeah. And so when you said, so that's top down?
I saw that on time.
There you go. Yo, and Top Gun have over 3 different agencies that stay. Other states, other agencies come like, I want to bring this to our state. That's how much we believe in this program.
Every agency in the state of Maryland shows up to Top Gun.
I bring. We have
so dope.
We have what they call Commander's Day, right? And I always get a gold badge, or at least of a rank, or a captain above, to come up so they can see. And when they see it, they lost for words. They love everyone that came up there. Love it. So that's why it's never a problem when it's time to go that they let someone go. And and outside of the politics that you get, right, the information. And I'll give you a classic example. You work drugs downtown, your case could take you anywhere in the state of Maryland, right? And the best example that I use is saying that, say like you want someone to go check a house to see if you see the car there, right? If you go down and just say, hey, this is such and such from BPD, can you get one of you guys to go check to see if this car down there? They may go, they may not go, right? But if you know a cop that worked down there, hey, this is such and such from Top Gun. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, look, we got this case going on. I don't know, yo, can you or get one of your people go slide down there and see the car? Yeah, I got you.
You're going to do it.
Because their bond is there.
Yeah.
The bond is...
Chief G has used MSP so fucking much. It's ridiculous. They're in addiction squad.
I bet.
Like they know they got the keys coming in. Boom.
Say less.
I love it. And it's
But the whole state wins. It's not just him.
absolutely very true.
Everybody, the good guys won because
Chocolate for the good guy.
you got a car stop full of drugs off.
Look, there's so many hidden talents within BPD.
Yeah.
Some people don't know they have it, and there's some that do, but due to certain restraints, they can't show it. Right?
Yeah.
When the units get downsized, right? It's no fault of our own, right? And I understand when management is saying, look, we got to shut this down and put people here in patrol because patrol is the backbone of the agency. Let's just keep it 100. Nobody don't want to be, well, I ain't going to say nobody. A lot of people don't want to be in patrol, right? They want to be cool. They want to be in the specialized or I want to be in homicide. I never wanted to do homicide. I don't like the smell of dead bodies. Right? So I ain't trying to do that. Huh?
Patrol is amazing.
So patrol, once again, is your backbone. So when I was getting promoted, right?
Patrol is amazing.
The commission, we got promoted. When I got promoted, we got promoted in the commission's boardroom. And one of the things he said that stuck out is to this day, he said, whenever you get promoted, you need to go to patrol. There's things in patrol that you will learn that you won't learn nowhere else in the department.
That's 1,000%.
They said it's the backbone of your career.
Shout out to every patrol officer out there doing it, man.
Fact.
Y'all doing it.
Look.
We love y'all.
When I got promoted, did I want to go to patrol? Hell no.
Right.
I ain't want to go. But when I went back there, man, I had a ball. And I had a ball because I learned, right? Because you out of touch.
Yes.
Yeah. You out of touch. Like, so I was out of patrol for consistent. I came back. I got put in time out for a minute. So I went to patrol for like 2 or 3 months. But outside of that, I left patrol in 99. And then outside of my little 3 months 4 months I did, when I went back was 2012. Right? So when I said stuff changed.
Yeah. Big time.
Yo. Everything changed. Even like there was new ways to pull certain calls out and stuff, right? I was pretty much already. I like the technology, so I was pretty much caught up on that. But when I got in the patrol car, I was like, "How you work the light system?"
Right.
So what I did was I went down to the stadium parking lot, right, when nobody was around, and just started pushing all the buttons. I was like, so I know. I was like, if I gotta go cold one right now, I don't know what to push. Right. I was like, what is this? And I was too prideful to say, hey, show me how you work these lights. Right. I'm like, I ain't doing that. So I went to a parking lot. When no one was around, I made sure I got out, looked around, nobody was there, and I just started pushing buttons. Right. I was like, okay, now, no, well, this did.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. Get out the car, look and see.
Yeah, so you know. But now, the new computers in the car right now.
Oh, my God, I'm lost.
I don't even know how to log on.
Me neither.
So, well, good.
I had to talk one of the dudes the other day from Northeast, and he told, like, the terminal, everything's different.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't been in the streets in like 7 years.
Look, I was working overtime in building security Friday. So a trainee came down. He had to come get his paycheck. So we just started talking, right? I'm in uniform, so he know who I am, at least by rank, right? So I'm asking about the academy and everything. So he telling me he loving it, right? He name dropping and everything. I'm like, yeah, I know that one, right? I was like, okay. So I'm like, so I said, you been studying? He was like, yeah, right? And nobody told me they changed some of the 10 codes, right? So it messed me up so bad. So I said, what's the 1044? So whatever he said what it was, I said, no, you're wrong. He said, he went to his phone. I ain't had this shit when I came to the job. He went to his phone, his work phone, and pulled up the 10 codes.
Damn.
Right? He said, sir, no, I'm right. 1044 was main lunch.
Right.
Now that shit ain't lunch no more.
What is it?
I don't know. I can't remember what it was. Damn. But he said, sir, he said, look, right here.
You have lunch?
Huh?
You have lunch nowadays?
No. But back in the day.
Back in the day.
So if you wanted to be like, tried to be smart, like to your supervisor, right? Because you met one. He's like, yeah, put me on 1044, right?
Right.
1044 is something different now.
It's not what it used to be.
No,
wow.
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
So things have changed, right? Like even how the academy is. Like, you can't even say make a hole now.
No.
When I came to the academy, if you see anybody in some blues, officer, whatever, you had to make a hole.
Yeah.
It was like, make a hole. And everybody go to the side and you stand at attention.
Yeah.
And then he said someone got offended, so you can't say that.
No. You can't say Hell Week.
There's no Hell Week?
Huh? No. Yeah, different.
You can't say Hell Week.
No, we can't even mention that.
So here's my question, right? This is my question.
Uh-huh.
If you can't have Hell Week, so I'm sure you can't say certain things, right?
Absolutely.
So in doing that, what do they do when they get on the street? If you can't handle Hell Week, how you gonna handle the streets of Baltimore?
You can't even say smoke no more.
Huh? What? So these kids, the majority of them are in their 20s, right? That's coming out. And I'm not being disrespectful to no one. I'm just a little older, right? So I earned that right to say that.
Absolutely.
When they go out there and deal with these guys on the corner or in these neighborhoods that's not law-abiding citizens, they're going to say much harsher things than smoke and Hell Week.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
So who teaching them how to handle that if you can't experience it in a controlled environment?
Bingo.
That's setting them up to fail.
Facts.
But once again, I can't say for 100% sure for a fact, but that's political.
Yeah.
That's why I could never be a politician.
Me neither. That's not my arena.
Look,
Yeah, it's not.
I would be killed in the first month because I wouldn't bite my tongue. I would try, man.
Right.
Especially you.
Look,
I'm a grunt. I stay a grunt and do grunt's work.
I don't mind this right here, right? But I gotta be honest, and I said I wanted to talk about this. After the riots, I listened to the media, I listened to the news, right? And listen how when I came on when I was a kid, police was the heroes, right? And the firefighters too, but it was always the police. Police was first, right? I want to be a cop. I want to be a cop. To now, they making us out to be the villain.
That's a fact.
And I'm like, so let me get this straight. I got my nose fractured. I had I had 2 surgeries and a manipulation on my shoulder. I messed my wrist up, messed my knee up, got in a couple car accidents at work, right? I been shot at, had a contract put out on me. And we ain't talking about the good things that I done, right? I'm just talking about the things that had happened to me. And then I got to worry about, first it was like all the criminals had to worry about that could come at you, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like police were just getting attacked for no reason now. Getting shot in that car while they eating and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Cops didn't even do nothing. They didn't even know this cop. But because you got a uniform on, you been shot, right? So you get some older people looking at you like you're crazy. So now I'm sizing everybody up like, yo, is this person ready to try to kill me? Right? And I'm looking like, hey. And then my nieces, my nephew, my sisters, my brother, my mother, family. Troy, when you gonna leave? You need to go.
Yeah.
Let somebody else do it. And I was like, nah. If I had that attitude and everybody had that attitude, the city gonna be much worse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need some people to stay in that fight. Right? But I'm getting older now.
Yeah.
Right? Thank y'all for giving me comments saying I don't look it, but my body feels it. Right? I still got there and I still have fun. And I love what I do. Right? And more importantly, I love mental. Right? And this cat right here used to work for me, right? He squared up on me, went to fight me in the Southeastern parking lot. Yeah. Am I lying?
You're not lying.
He straight was like, let's go.
Wow.
Like, dude, you lost your mind. I ain't need my 6-figure job because I'm the supervisor. I get to tell you what to do. But he didn't trust the process because he didn't know me. Right?
That's a fact. No, yeah, I get it now.
And the most rewarding thing out of it all was when he calmed down, we talked, we ironed it out. And
here we are.
Hold on. Before we get to this point, I'm in church. Who comes strolling in the church?
Uh-oh.
Same church.
Like, yo, you mean tell me go to the same church?
Wow.
That's a fact. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Met his wife, met his kids, you know?
And here we go.
Yeah. And it just shows. So
It's true.
when an officer or detective or even a supervisor now, when they come back and they say I made an impact in a positive way to them, I say it's all worth it. Right? But my most notable, right, on a positive note, it ain't got nothing to do with drugs, is when 2000, it was 2013. 2013. I think the baby was like 15 months, 15-month old. Shot and killed in Trey Hill. Right? And I witnessed it. He was in the car with his dad. Right? An officer and me just went to go pay a CI for some information. We're in house, right? And we're driving up Cherry Hill Road. And he said, "You hear that?" And I heard, so I rolled down the window. And I remember like it just happened. I looked to the right, it's nothing but the woods. And I looked to the left, it's this car. And it's 4 guys like a semicircle around the car in the parking lot. And they just firing in it. Bah, 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 bah. So I went to go jump out the car. And he said, I'm going to take you around to it. So he knew where they was going to try to run out at, right? Well, when we drove around, we drove past the getaway car, not knowing it was a getaway car right there, right? So when we coming in, they're running towards us. So as soon as they saw us, we jump up. They turn around and run the other way. So I'm going to go race. He said, "No, get back in the car. I know where they're going. I know where they're going." Get back in the car, swing around, go down Cherry Hill, go into the bus depot, right? He said they're going to try to come through here. So it was just him and I. So we got on the radio. Boom, boom, boom. Like, units, you hear the units coming, right? Broad daylight. Summertime. So I asked for Foxtrot. They said Fox is down. Helicopter. I was like, of all times it had to be down, right?
Always fucking down.
Right. So I'm looking, got my gun out. I also got his gun out. He on the other side. And then you can hear in the woods. You can hear. And now someone said, "There you go, right there. There you go." They turned around, shot back up, right? So the bike units was up on the other end, right? So some type of way, we didn't know how many got in the car, but they saw someone get in the car. And the car takes off, right? And when the dispatcher said that Fox was down, when 2 minutes later, Fox was up. So Fox was like, "We on the air," right? And I thought I was going to get in trouble for this, right? Because everybody kept talking on the radio. And I said, "Everybody stay the hell off the radio. Fox, you got it," right? Props to Fox. We wouldn't have half his people in jail without Fox.
That's a fact.
I'll put a helicopter against anybody else in the world.
Yeah.
I've been up in the air with them jokers. And when I say they good in what they do, look, let me tell you, they had the video, right? The dude took off. So Southern is Cherry Hill, right? We started in Southern. We went through Central, went through Western, went through Southwest, ended crashing up in the Western, right?
So they got in the car.
Yeah, they was in the car. But everybody didn't get in the car. We didn't know how many was in the car because we was doing that. But you know, when you go down Waterview, right, and then you get on 395 and you go around, I don't know if Fox was going sideways, whatever, but they put their camera right there and they zoomed in so tight you can see the motherfucking latex gloves on his hand, on the passenger side hand, right? It's like, and it's very important. You won't think about it now, but it's very important. I got the video. I'll show you all the video, right? So when they bailed out, Fox is still there. Got one. Everybody else got away. Props to my man, JJ from Homicide. That's his case. When I tell you that dude came on and got everybody,
He's a beast.
when I say he got, and he threw drugs too. When I say he got everybody, he was like, "Man, thank you for this game." No, I ain't do that. You did that.
Right.
He felt the whole backstory. We got the one guy, right? Everybody else got away. We found guns at the scene. The dad didn't die, but the kid died. The female also grabbed the baby. Baby got hit in the femur, right?
Bled out.
And bled out. Right there in her arm.
Damn.
She was messed up for a long time. Right? She had to go out. I didn't even know that the baby, I didn't know anybody got shot. I just saw the shooting in the car because the car had tinted windows.
Right.
Right? So we didn't know until after we got the one suspect and we come back up. And at the time, the major homicide was like, I think it was like 15 months. Baby died. I'm like, what? The father survived, right? And so when I talked to Jay was like, dude ain't talking. So when he was in the hospital, he said, look, I'm just gonna let you know. He's like, he broke the news to him, told him his son was dead, right? And because his son got killed and it was a setup, he told everything, right? And the crazy thing about it, you know who set him up to get killed? His biological brother.
Get the fuck out of here.
All the dudes, they did the shooting, the victim, like, they was professional killers. These jokers wasn't no average kids just off the block, right? I ain't know, right? I was like, man. So when JJ got the case all together and he locked everybody up, this is how cruel it was. The dude that actually had him come up there to Cherry Hill, had him sit in the spot, was playing with his son while he was waiting for the shooters to get there. So when the shooters came up, he said, well, I'll be right back. He went and sat on the porch and watched them shoot up the car. And knew the baby was in there.
Wow, after playing with him.
Yeah, he played with the son. Played with him. And tried to kill him. Wow. But did kill the baby. Right? I can't wrap my head around that. So fast forward all the way to the trial. I'm sitting, we sit outside the courtroom, right? So we're waiting for the jury and everybody to come, and they was bringing the suspects in, right? So I'm sitting there with a couple of officers that was there, right? When they brought him in, because you're in the courthouse, they always bring prisoners around, right?
Right.
So it was like, you know who that was? I was like, who? He was like, it was just for that. I was like, no. So you should know. I was like, why? Because they got glasses on, fresh haircuts and everything, right? So what? They was like, that's them. I'm like, that's them who what? Right? I'm like, that's them who
killers?
What? Yes. Yo.
They did, and they Sunday's best.
They had them glasses on. They ain't had no more crazy fro.
Uh-huh.
And I had to really look at them when I went inside, and I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, they always show up nice for court.
But let me tell you something. Shout out to the state's attorney. She was thorough as shit. She got it. Jay did his part. She did her part. Got convictions. You ain't gotta worry about them killing nobody else. And I'm glad to see them all. And I always talk about saying my most noble one I see is a lot of drugs, especially as a UC. But nothing topped that.
That right there.
That's so self-gratifying. Yeah. And I didn't do investigation. I just did the part. I was hoarse when we got finished on the chase because I was screaming at the driver because when he saw them running the red lights and stop sign, he was trying to do it too. And I'm like, I wasn't trying to die. I was like, no. So somebody had to be the calm one, right? So I was screaming like, stop, and they keep on going, right? But it was huge. I mean, we went through all that, and I wouldn't change enough. Even with our policies that we got right now, I wasn't breaking it all.
No.
Right? It was like, no, run it. I'll deal with the consequences later. But them dudes need to come out the street. Yeah. Because if they did that in broad daylight, and now knowing there was a baby in there, they knew it, they wasn't going to stop. No. They was going to keep on killing. No, they got to go. They got to go. And when I say when Jay did his thing, he did his thing. And good, clean case. Oh, and when I was talking about that glove, dropped the glove when he got out the car to run. So, they did the DNA and all that stuff. And so, of course, they was trying to say that the defense attorney was like, no, that's not the glove, this, that, and the other. They showed that helicopter when they zoomed in on the scene and saw them latex gloves. Like, I ain't know this stuff. I don't know all the technical about it, but you can tell, like, where the gloves was made at or whatever, like, what pack it came out of. And they proved it. I was like, this is some CIS stuff right here. But that's beyond my scope of things I do. That's why I said shout out to the state's attorney. Some of them, I didn't care for too much. But this one, if she called me today and say she need a favor, she got that.
Facts.
She got that. But saying that, shout out to Ivan Bates. Dude gonna make a difference in the city. I feel like it.
Think so?
I do.
That's dope.
I do. I
watch. Gonna be charging these dudes to get them out of here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a change.
Look, I see, and so you hear the dudes, you talk to people that's in jail. These dudes, they paying attention
because they know now.
Yeah, they know, and they talk. So you're making a good impact. If they talking about it, the streets talking about it.
The streets talking about it first,
right? But some of them guys be making an example out of, like when they get the hammer dropped on them, they get that life in prison, right? They goes like, yo, hold on, they serious, right? Think about when our previous commissioners came in, they was like, that's the commissioner? Yo, they was nervous. You got to think about when we got the one man in, and he went with that zero tolerance, right? The dudes that was breaking the law, they was nervous.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think the future of police work in Baltimore City with Ivan Bates and now a new regime, do you think we're looking good?
I'm hopeful.
Is it looking good?
So, once again, politics plays its part, right?
They do.
I'm
feeling very optimistic.
I am. So, but I've been let down so much because of politics, right? I know I want to see, the city in a better place than what it is. I know our bosses for Baltimore City PD want to see great things. Our acting deputy commissioner was born and raised in South Baltimore. He's invested just like I am. Before the announcement came out, we was in the grand jury because they had a new grand jury coming in, and he was talking, right? I don't have no issues with that man. I remember when he was up the north. Yo, he was a shift commander, and he was riding the bike. I'll never forget that. I was like, if I was boss, I ain't riding no bike, right? But he was out there like, I'm out there with my troops, right? So that should tell you. That man dedicated.
Too.
That's it. And I didn't know that.
Yeah,
right?
Northeast.
Yeah, Northeast. He was very.
From what I see, he take this job as serious as I take.
That's a fact,
right?
Not gonna lie about that. That is true.
I just hope and pray his hands is not tied, where though he can get the most out.
Bingo.
That's all.
I mean, we see now, like, just to bring it up, we see what happens when politicians tie the hands of a commissioner. We're seeing it in New York, where New York City had a phenomenal commissioner who just resigned. She resigned.
I didn't know that till you just told me that.
She resigned.
She wasn't even a full year in.
She said, "Look, I'm here for the troops, and I can't do what I gotta do." She left. Because of the politics. Mayor Adams, he's not letting her do what she's supposed to do. So if you're a mayor, like, deal with that. Like, police work, if you're a mayor, like, let the police officers do.
So let me play devil's advocate. He was a boss at NYPD, right?
So from what I did a little digging on the guy.
Okay.
He wasn't very active.
But let me say this.
His 20-something year career has about 20-something arrests.
In New York?
In 20 years.
Oh, so he sat on the sidelines.
We can look this up, Triple C, if you want to pull it up. I mean, we're not in their jurisdiction. In 20 years, I think he has 20 arrests. So now that tells you, now if I'm wearing an NYPD uniform and my mayor who's saying he's going to take care of us, am I really going to know he's going to take care of us? He got 20 arrests in 20 years in New York City?
Let me say
what?
This. So follow me.
What did you do?
Follow me here, right? It's hard to sit there and say, but he's not the commissioner, right?
No, he's the mayor.
He's the mayor. But what I'm saying, if he was a commissioner, and
who ran on being strong, supporting police.
Okay.
He ran on that.
I remember that.
Yes.
I didn't know.
I'm a cop, and I do this and I do that.
I'm gonna defer on that because
But now he's the same person that's asking for immigrants to be housed in New York City residents.
So right? And here's the politics of it. Did he ask for them immigrants to come in?
He did.
He did? No, he didn't. He didn't ask for them. They bust him up, and they didn't even know he was coming from down south. Remember?
Yeah.
They said no one knew they was coming.
No, he wanted that. New York City's a sanctuary city.
So is he. Right? We can't ask somebody about their immigration status. BPD can. HSI can. But we can't. I don't know about any other agencies, but we can't. From what I saw on the news, and that's all I can go on.
That's all we could go on.
When they shipped them up, the governors that I don't know if it was Texas or wherever it was, they bust and sent them up to New York.
New York City said we will welcome them.
But do that mean that he was asking for them? Or that's them just up there saying,
No, let's get it straight. We welcome immigrants because immigrants are the fabrics of this country. But I just say let's do it the right way.
I agree. I mean, that's the purpose of having law, right?
Let's do it the right way.
Have people doing.
We're down. Let's get vetted, take a test, do the flag, heart above, left, Let's do that.
But that when I say that's above all our pay grades, right?
Yes.
And one thing, y'all agree when I say this: if the public knew everything that we know that goes behind the scenes,
perception will be totally different.
Absolutely. But so let me ask you this: do you think we know everything that went on the decisions that they made?
Absolutely not.
So can you make an honest assessment?
We can. But I think the public now is starting to realize a lot of stuff is coming to light.
They said we're standing in the dark, coming to light.
That's why when I in my chat when we talk about politics, you wasn't in that room when they made those decisions. Can't really talk on it.
I tell you.
But what I would say is that she stepped down and she said, look, I wanted to do my job for the officers of the NYPD, and I'm not allowed to, so I left. More so or less.
So
politics is different. Running why they don't dip into fires? You should handle the fire this way. Why they don't do that?
Because the hot topic is police right now.
Mm-hmm. Will always be.
So what is the agenda for the media? What's the agenda for
police is the scapegoat.
The news? Say it again.
It's the scapegoat.
There you go.
Because we're not allowed to speak out, but we speak out on it.
So how did news get their ratings? Is it for talking about all the good stuff that the police do?
Nope.
Because I can tell you right now, when we caught the guys that did their homicide of the kid, that was probably made 2 days worth of news cycle, and that's it.
They kept it moving.
That was it. Right? That was it.
An NYPD officer the other day, I saw a video. They were breaking up they were mandated to break up a street, sidewalk barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
The block up in Raw. The officers go out there and they do their job because, we're soldiers. At the end of the day, we get orders.
Right.
We do what we're supposed to do. There's a Dominican, I don't know what he is, a Dominican male grabs one of those lawn chairs and just fucking goes top to bottom on the officer. Boom. Crushes the officer. You see 3-4 officers, shout out to them because they caught him. Turns out this guy's Dominican, illegal. And the hardest thing about it is that the crowd is like, run, get away, run, get away. And it's like, fam, he just crushed a police officer that was doing their job. He got caught. Now he's on his way back, but it's just like, dog, you fought this hard.
And he probably come right back too.
You think so?
Get back, sneak back into the country. Yeah,
Probably.
No, I'd be.
I don't know. It depends on the arrest.
but check this out.
Definitely.
I can remember it was in San Francisco. Trump was in office. I don't know what year, but Trump was in office, and an illegal immigrant. I'm only going for us on the news. He got deported, snuck back in, and he shot and killed someone on the boardwalk. You remember that? Killed the girl?
Was it like San Diego or something like
Yeah,
that?
San Diego. I said San Francisco, it was San Diego.
It wasn't
Yeah.
San Diego.
It was on a pier. Like a well-lit area, like a carnival or whatever,
Nice
right?
spot.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
And I think he robbed her, or he was trying to rob her, something like that, but killed her.
Wow.
And then that's when they made this big thing, was talking about his illegal immigrant. So I'm not gonna say it's easy to get back in, because I can't say if it is or it isn't, but I know they keep coming back. And some people go home, go see their family, and then get back in. I'm sure it's a price to pay, but they do it.
I'm all for it. I'm all for like immigrants to come here, but like get vetted and
Go through the process.
don't allow dangerous. Because think about it, like this is a soft country right now. You can't say certain things when you travel, because you've traveled.
Mhm.
You've traveled. You could literally set a building on fire in a different country and nothing's going to happen to you. So imagine these people that come from those countries come here and they're like, what? I could do what? Wait, I'm not getting into trouble for saying X, Y, and Z? Oh, it's time to live.
So, let me say this.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
I
got
mean,
people
you know-
coming over that are dangerous as fuck.
So, let me ask you a question to be devil's advocate. Can you tell who's dangerous by looking at them?
You can't.
Do
No,
they have a criminal record where they can get that information?
that's why they need to be vetted.
So how do you vet to find out? And mind you, you got hundreds of
It's an
thousands
influx.
of people trying to get in.
So
So you only got so you got Border Patrol or Homeland Security that's doing these backgrounds, right? It's taking long enough just trying to vet the ones that's doing it the legal way. Can you imagine everybody trying? It'd be years
It's a huge problem.
just to get some through. Because you will not have enough people. And then some people still want to slip through the cracks.
Always. There's always going to be.
Then we get some bad cops in the job.
Sure enough, do.
They slip through.
But have you ever seen the immigration law for like Mexico?
I have not. I don't know a lot about immigration at all.
Super strict.
I'm not surprised.
Super strict.
I wouldn't want to
I
live in
think
Mexico.
don't quote me, but I want to say it's 5,000, maybe 20,000, and 20 years in jail if you sneak into Mexico.
That's crazy.
So, what continues to be your why for the job? Before
Let's
we
do
wrap
it.
this thing up.
My why would be the citizens, the grandmas, the grandpas, the kids, right? I gotta tell the story. The kids is the why. One of it, because that's our future. When I was working, I'll never forget, my shift commander said, hey, keep this area clean because Unit 1 is coming through. 10-4, sir. So one guy, one drug dealer, he told him, bunch of hype, right? We had bad blood arrested him before. I know he's a drug dealer. But he told me he couldn't stand on the corner. You gotta go. We got into a verbal confrontation. Before I knew it, took both his hands and put it around my throat, choking me. They teach you how to clamp down, right? So I clamped down.
The citizen did this?
Yeah, this assistant. Suspect now. Ain't no citizen now, he's suspect now.
Yeah.
So I clamped down, had my radio right here. It's like 41, give me some units. But the man got his hand on my throat. So shout out to the dispatchers, because it's our lifeline. She knew something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She said, 41, where you at? 41, where you at? And I couldn't answer. So at this point, I'm still trying to get it down because I'm scared to take my hand off to go grab my gun because I could feel I'm losing this oxygen, right? So they dropped the 13 on me, right? They was like, we don't know where he is because I never called at the stop when I got the car. So you know what happened? The kids saw it, ran into the power center and got the city officers that worked the power center. It was like the guy out there fighting. And that's why they told where I was at. And that's why the troops came and got me. I'm telling you right now, I was dead.
Wow.
Hands down. And when they came, they tackled him. I go down first. He get on top of me. They all get on top. Shout out to the old shift commander. I ain't speak to him for years, right? When I got up, I wanted payback. My wife flashed in front of me. They pulled me off. So I was like, no, I'll transport him, man. I was angry. All I saw was red. He said, no, you're not. Like, yes, I am. No, you're not. That's an order. And I was like, so it's okay for this dude to choke the shit out of me and I can't do nothing back? He says, it's not okay, but you ain't going to do nothing. I ain't speak to that man for years. But I was immature. I took my job serious, but I was immature. I can recognize what he did. He saved my job.
Sure did.
Because I was going to jail. Because I was going to try to kill that dude.
You would have got a one-on-one with him.
Oh, it was going to be a one-on-one. But I promised him that I was going to kill him. And then he had the nerve to go to IA and report me. I was like, he choked me,
right?
But he reported me because I told him I was going to kill him. But that's what I felt. I don't know if y'all ever felt what death felt like, but I can honestly say that that was some shit right there for me.
Yeah, once you start blacking out, losing oxygen.
But the kids, because I went to the store and brought them some candy before. So they was looking for this evening, right?
Absolutely. Oh, that goes on for some... What?
Yeah. He outside fighting. He outside fighting.
Good will always outlive evil.
Facts.
Kids know that.
But my why it can continue is them kids. My family live in the city. And everybody want me to leave. I ain't ready yet.
Right.
But I had more than one person tell me this. And I live by it. They say, you'll know when you're ready to come.
That's a fact.
And I always said, I'm going to go out on my own accord. No one's going to push me out. I ain't doing no 40 years, though. I can tell you that.
Right.
I may do 30 or a little more than that. But I ain't doing no 40. I only see myself doing 35. I'm going to live.
35 years.
If. I'm not even saying I will. If.
Wow.
Right? Because right now, shout out to this. Health and wellness. This department.
Yeah.
Right? I had some reservations about it. But anyone that's trying to help us, right, and give you ways out to let your anger out and help you out, got to commend that. Right? I don't know what the numbers are now, but suicide, officers commit suicide, I think for the city probably went down. I know some officers.
I know it went down.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know some officers that took their life, right?
Yeah.
And that's a hurting feeling. Can you imagine the pain that they were in? But we got that outlet now, right?
That's
so shallow for that, right? Yeah. I would say one of my important things would be is to say, keep fighting, even though you may not get rewarded, right? Or get recognized. Perfect example. I didn't get recognized for the kid catching the killers that killed their kid. I didn't get recognized for that, right? I got my biggest bust as a UC, if I'm not mistaken, was probably the biggest as a UC for our city. And it was big enough to the U.S. Attorney's Office where though they wrote a letter and sent it to the commissioner about the work that I did. And that was 26 keys of raw heroin. Wow. And it was an international case. I stand on that.
Damn.
I had some fun.
Did you, prior to UC, did they make you listen to the video of the officer? The UC,
No.
what's the
I mean, you talking about
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mike Ward. Mm-hmm. So, I've heard it several times, right? Even if you're not doing undercover work,
For people that don't know about the story, can you give a brief synopsis of what happened?
I don't want to touch on it,
Okay,
right? Because he had family that's in law enforcement,
that's true. Yeah,
and I don't want to tell that story. I would rather see him tell a story
absolutely,
about his dad. That's out of respect for him.
absolutely.
But what I can say is that it only take a second to lose your life. If you're that good, if you slip just for a second, you can die.
Yeah.
Have I had somewhere though? I had one. I met the dude at my dorm on the bottom lot, and he asked me. He was like, "Yo, you're a cop, mind you. We already know you're responsible for some homicides and some shootings. We already know this.
Already know.
Right?" And he was like, I brought from him numerous times, right? We up on the teeth on the wide tap on him too, right? So for whatever reason, I went to meet up with him, and I think I was getting a half a key, and he was like, "Well, are you a cop?" And I was like, "What?" And he asked me again because I never had the training. I didn't know if I could sit up there and say no, right? And then the case would get thrown out.
Right.
So what I did was I flipped that shit back. I'm a good bullshitter.
Hey, nigga, you a cop?
Bam. That's exactly what I did. But this nigga was on his shit. He said, "No, motherfucker, I ain't no cop, are you?" And he kept asking me to answer it. So I was like, either I'm going to say yeah or no.
Right.
So I was like, no. Right? I ain't know. And he said, "Well, it's high around here. Let's go around the corner." Because I was so young and I ain't want to disappoint my bosses. I was like, all right, let's go. When I walked back to the car, I had a driver.
He was rocking you to sleep.
Bam. Right? And all my hair, all our spidey senses was going off.
Sixth sense was like, what are you doing?
Boom. I get in a car, and this was, watch this. Damn. God, it's good.
Amazing.
Watch this. So I got to give you pretext. The Maryland State Trooper totally was just killed. Right? He was doing undercover work. Right? He just got killed. The major, God rest him, said every deal from this point forward, he had someone going there with him. Prior to that, I always went by myself. Always went by myself. That very deal, the next deal I did, all this stuff kicks off. So I get in the car, it was a veteran. There was a UC. And I was like, yo. I was like, I think he shook. I think he was going to try to kill me. Right? And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah. I was like, everything is different. I've been buying from this dude for months. So everything is different. The shooter always get out the car. I never saw his gun, but we knew it was a shooter just from my investigation, right? He always get out the car. I get in the car. I do the deal. I'm on my way. And every time he came in a big boy car, SL 500. Blue. Coming the next time in a 2-door ring. Then he come in an SC 400 Lexus. Different colors. Every time he came in a big boy car. This time he came in a Geostorm.
A Geostorm.
Geostorm. Green. Never forget a hatchback. Right? Dude.
That piece of shit.
The shooter in the passenger seat, right? Got the seat leaned back. I can see the butt of the gun right there. And I'm like, everything is off.
It's about to, yeah.
Right. So I'm still trying to stay cool, right? So when he get out the car, we going back and forth with the words. I get back in our car. He said, I said, I'll follow you. I'll go around there. So when I got in there, shout out to the OG, you see, I was like, yo. And I told him, he was like, fuck it, we ain't doing it. I was like, no, I don't want Sarge to get mad at me because I ain't doing it. I said, no, we got to do it. I'm still doing it. He was like, no, fuck that. You ain't got to do it. Call it. So we got on the horn, and I was like, He want to meet around the corner, but I ain't telling about all the other stuff. The conversation that we had. He was like, "We're not going around the corner." He said, "We're not," because everybody's in place. So
I could throw a wrench in the shit.
Boom. So I was like, so now I gotta think fast. So I already told this motherfucker we gonna move, right? And now my boss is saying I can't move, so I gotta do something. He said, "We're not going on no side street," right? And it was broad daylight.
Right.
He was like, "We ain't going." So I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna tell him meet me upstairs." So we went up to the top lot, right? So I was like, "Yo, I ain't going around there, yo. I ain't getting down like that. Come up top." He came on top. He asked me again, was I cop? And I said no. He did the deal. Jumped in the whip, rolled out. Right? Was he going to rob me? Was he going to kill me? Was he going to do both? He was going to rob me and kill me if you ask me.
I think so.
I do. Right? And it was like one of those things when you get home, you're like, yo, you could have died.
Because if it happened already a couple of times and everything's good, what's the hiccup now? And now bring me upstairs? And now you want the geostorm.
He smells something.
Niggas got shooters in geostorms.
Exactly.
So it's like, what we doing?
Look, so this is what I say to everybody that go to UC, right? Come to UC. And mine is through trial and error. No one taught me this. I learned this on my own. I control everything that goes on. You my boss, you his boss, but I'm telling you in a respectful way how this is going to go down, where I want my shooters at, right? When you know what I used to do? When I was on the task force, because when you're a task force, you got to go qualify for the feds too, right? So we all would go together. The supervisor would shut down the unit and everybody go shoot. I would go watch how everybody shoot. Who's a good shot and who's not. Even though the target ain't shooting back, but you sit there and see who can shoot and who can't shoot. The ones that can't shoot, you put that ass on the other perimeter. Unless you got the wrong guy. So I was like, I want such and such here, I want such and such here. And we knew. And they was like, the shit the fan, they was like, "T, what you gonna do?" I said, "Get low." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because everybody that's standing up gonna get dropped."
The cleanup crew is coming in.
There it is. And when I tell you, they was with me for every deal.
Yeah.
I had someone that monitored my listening device, because I can undress you without you even knowing I undress you. Just give you a whole description, right? So who was listening to on the other end could then turn around and give it to the crew that's out there watching my back. Because some deals is done at dark, right? And some of these dudes are good. Some of them will ride around for like an hour, just riding around to see if they can find anybody that's out of place.
They're paranoid.
There you go. They ain't trying to go to jail.
Fuck no.
And I'm buying keys.
Right.
I'm sitting down there. That shit was fun though. But what I say is, where I was going with it, is saying that don't be afraid to walk away from a case. Don't be afraid to walk from a case. Don't be afraid to sit up there and say, something ain't right about this. I can't do this deal. Because you sitting there trying to prove something can cost you your life.
Absolutely.
Right? We hear the UCs that get killed. Right? Some of them could be prevented. Right? I'm not going to say what was. We could talk offline about that. Because I don't want no one trying to think I'm trying to minimize someone else's career.
Right.
That's someone that lost their life or seriously got injured. But I played everything out. And you know, I used to watch cops and I watched TV police shows. You know why? I learned from it. People don't understand that. What you learn is what to do and what not to do.
Absolutely.
I watched cops, right? And I would see the mistakes that they would make. And I would sit there and make sure I wouldn't do that. I was like, oh, look at that. I watch you to critique it.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you was at EMT, you got to tell the officers, the trainees, what they doing right and what they doing wrong. I was doing it on TV. So I was like, oh, don't do that.
Right.
Right? When I walk up to a door, I size up which way this door open. Where's my cover at? Not my concealment, right? People don't think about that.
Nah.
When they get out the car and they walk up to another car, nah. Don't take that. I treat everybody the same.
Me too.
Yo, you got blacked out windows? I'm rolling your windows down.
You don't just walk up to anybody.
Oh, and to the civilians that don't know, they always got something to say like, why take 2, 3, 4 police cars to come up there for someone to get a ticket? We're stronger in numbers. It's less likely you try to do things when you see numbers.
Absolutely.
If you by yourself, they feel like they can take you. And if it's 4 people in the car, I want 2 or 3 units with me.
Absolutely.
Because when they see that we outnumber them, it's less chance of them trying stuff.
Yeah.
And what? Everybody in Baltimore, just about, hypothetically, I'm going to say, have a gun in the car.
Mm-hmm.
You hear, people hear them talking about it, right? People, informers tell us what they be saying too, right? Your investigations tell you. So you got to be careful.
And at the end of the day, it takes what it takes.
Hey.
Who's a professional in this?
Look, I'm going to tell you what, I just went to the range and qualified. And the range instructor said, how many of y'all only went and shot your gun once this year? You'd be surprised when people raise their hand. And I ain't even going to lie. I'm one of them.
I am too.
And I said, but you know what?
I still shoot my ass off.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm in the 90s. I'm in the 90s
all the time.
And look, I get mad if I shoot below a 90.
Absolutely.
But I want to work better so I can get better placement.
Right.
Right? When the better placement. And I can't go out there and tell the rookies when they come out or younger officers or detectives, regardless if it's man or woman, to go do something if I'm not doing it myself.
That's a fact.
So if I go out there to the range and I'm getting better, you can do it.
Yes, you can.
And I don't know if the job still do, but remember they used to give you a couple boxes of ammunition every year?
No, they didn't got lazy with it.
Oh, okay. They used to do it.
Inflation.
Yeah.
Inflation, though.
But it goes.
They know who you are. They get, take care.
Yeah. Well, you got to work at the range to somebody at the range.
Absolutely.
I don't know nobody up there, but I used to go up to the range and shoot a lot. My ex-girlfriend, I'm very prideful, right? She was in law enforcement. We go to the range. She worked for a different agency, right? And she on this lane, I'm on this lane. So pull my joint out. Ma. It was okay. She over there. Damn. She got 42. Pull that shit in. Oh, my sights must be off. She shot the shit out of that talk. I was like, my sights off. She said, let me hold your gun. And I hold her gun. She shot better with my gun than I did with my own gun. Me being competitive that I was, I ain't even telling this. For the next between 4 and 6 weeks, 2 to 3 times a week, I would go to the range. I squeezed off at least 100 rounds every time I went. I was like, I'm not losing to.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No. I was like, I'm supposed to be protecting you.
Right.
The way you shoot, you should be protecting me. So I don't know if she do some rounds the next time because my pride was hurt. But the second time I'm going to say I beat, right? But I don't know if she do some rounds or not, though. But I did go shoot. And it's bragging rights. You got the younger cats, Thundercats coming out there.
Yeah, shout out to Nalo. I had to show him how shit he dropped.
See?
He tried to bring that shit to me. I said, word? Okay, come on.
So I got my nephew, right? Shout out to him for sure, right? A couple of my nephews. They was in the military. Every time they came out. And he challenged me once or twice. Yeah. Like I challenged my brother, trying to go out to the throne. I was like, all right, what's up? But I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if I can outshoot him because he got a bunch of guns and he like going to the range.
We're setting up a Soulback range day. You should come through.
Oh, yeah, I got one?
No, we're going to set it up. We're in the middle of that.
Say less. I'm there.
It's just, only thing that counts is when it's time to get at it.
Yeah, we're going to show it out. Being on.
Yeah, you should. You should. I hope it's sooner than later.
Absolutely.
Probably in August, we're going to set that up.
And you got to let me know because I'm doing my vacation.
You busy.
Yeah, I'm doing my vacation.
August. Yeah.
I'm kidnapping y'all. Y'all can go with me.
I'm going. I already told you I'm going.
I'm ready to go.
Definitely.
My passport ready.
Look, passport global. Shout out to the government. You got to get global. Nobody ain't got time to stand
wait until I did. No.
Go straight through. Less than a minute, you through.
Nice.
I feel sorry for everybody else that got to sit in that line and wait. No, you go right on through.
Now, Global's though. You don't wait for nothing.
Yeah, just
right.
Look, like American Express, right? Told you never leave home without some things, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did they say right there? Right there on top.
Global entry.
Yeah.
Got that nice little picture on there.
Perfect.
And look, gets you through a whole lot of things.
It really does.
And they got the TSA pre-check.
And
then you got, so you ain't got to take your shoes off, take your belt off, and all that stuff. No, you ain't got to take your laptop out your bag. Now you go right on through. And the thing is, I think it's $125 for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. It's a quick setup. It don't take long either.
Yeah, you law enforcement.
Yeah,
so
we good.
Breeze through it. You got criminal record, something different.
Right.
But you don't got a record.
Sorry for you.
Yeah, hey. Look, I'm telling you, all you got to do, when you go up there, the computer take a picture of your face, then it said proceed to the checkout. Go up there, the officer right there, say your name, like yes, have a good day, thank you.
Perfect.
Less than 60 seconds, I'm out.
Global entry.
Global entry.
Gotcha.
Folks, another phenomenal episode.
So many stories.
I want to thank my brother Troy for coming out. I appreciate you, bro. Love you, man. It means everything.
Look,
everything.
Let me say, I got
Please do. Please.
The stuff y'all doing here is a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
I saw the story with the guy coming out trying to get the job and he got on. That's huge. That's telling you what you're doing. If you didn't know what your work was doing, let that be a lesson to you right there and show you. Keep thriving, keep pushing. Keep thriving, keep pushing. Get that merch out. Let it be known. You got the man back there behind the scenes hiding. You know, y'all need to get him out here too.
Triple C.
Yeah, he be hiding. I'm calling him the undercover over there. Right? Y'all got your own UC.
Right. He does a lot.
But this right here was in the making for a minute. Yeah. And I'm glad I was able to come through.
I'm so happy it happened tonight.
There's so much stuff that we still didn't touch on.
Oh, no, we saving that for the next episode.
Okay.
Oh, this ain't just one for you.
Oh, that's what's up.
No,
I appreciate
the next one.
You're going to have a whole file.
Hell yeah.
Hey, from where I got in trouble at,
yes,
to where though I got promoted at.
That's perfect.
Let's go.
But we needed the intro. Hey. The world needed the intro.
So you know what? Can I put you on the spot?
Absolutely.
Y'all gonna take the test?
I'm taking it.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm definitely taking it.
Putting you on the spot.
I'm not taking it.
We're gonna fight. You got a lot to offer.
I gotta take it. There's too much been going on, and I said,
exactly.
If you don't do nothing, then you're part of it.
So what's the purpose of this? If you don't want to go hands on, right? You're doing a great thing right here. Why not make it full circle? You got a lot to offer. You work narcotics.
I'm busy, Sarge.
I'm busy too. All right, right here for everybody. How about this? This is what I tell you. You study for the sergeant test. I study for the next rank.
Ooh, okay. Does that with him?
He already said he taking it, so I ain't got to do anything else.
Sarge, I'm not gonna lie to you. Right now, that ain't for me. That ain't for me.
You sure?
I'm not in.
So let me ask you. You said that.
What's been
so
done?
Here's the
you
question.
Know what it is? What's been done to me? I feel so like out of it that I don't want to be.
All right, I know we gotta go, but let me say this. I've been blackballed in this job before.
But he's amazing.
Hold on. We ain't talking about him right now. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a story. I've been blackballed more than once. Mm. My qualification speaks for itself.
That's how I feel.
Right? But hold on. Just like G. He got blackballed for something that he didn't do.
Okay.
Right? But he hung in there. And what happened? He got to the right side. Don't stop your own growth.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
I'm going to kidnap you. Let you know. I know where you work. I'm going to bug you.
Let's do it.
That's what's up.
I trust you.
All right.
I'm on it.
Trust the process.
Yes. Yeah.
Trust the process.
Dre.
Appreciate that. I mean, so much wealth and knowledge and amazing stories. And just, you know, an honor to have you here.
Appreciate it.
Peace and love.
Triple C.
Blessed are the peacemakers.
Folks, another phenomenal episode. You're going to love this one. You love them all, but this here is special. It's your boys in blue, Silverback Chronicles podcast. Big H, Dre, Triple C, and our special guest, Big Troy here tonight.
July 11th, don't forget.
Fells Point Tavern, July 11th. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Charlie Shorts, The Boys, Bergen, Soben, and Gross. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all.
They'll take care of you.
Please be safe.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace.